Don't click the wrong button, though.
Did it right. Don't judge.
Aha! It's in your hands.
Right then, everyone. Hello, and welcome to the start of a brand new campaign. Call it a campaign. Well, don't know how often we're going to do this. We'll see. Just something I'm playing about with. Had an idea, thought I'd roll with it, dragged these lot into it. So, yeah.
Kicking and screaming we were. No, please
Especially
don't
with the
make us
dice
play
rolls.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh no, I couldn't possibly do that. Oh no.
Couldn't possibly. It's not like I have 25 spare persons or nothing.
What a terrible taskmaster.
Oh, such a burden. Oh, please, guys, please play with me. I've got no one else to play with.
I haven't got any other friends.
Oh, it hurts.
The worst part is that is me.
So welcome to
Nice mug.
Seraphina, which is a Dungeons and Dragons 5e campaign that I play with my friends, and these are my friends.
Hey!
Hello.
That feels so lovely.
So,
I'm this side of the
Suits you.
screen.
Luke,
yes,
it suits you doing the intro.
does it?
Yeah, because
Because
no bastard interrupts you.
I can't interrupt myself.
Yeah.
I mean, I can.
That
You'll
will be
manage
more
it.
like our job from
Yeah,
now on.
honestly.
Hang
Right.
on, Pete, interruption's now your turn.
I'll take on that responsibility.
Oh, I'm sure he's ready and waiting. And every week now, there's going to be something new and fucking ridiculous that's going to come up. Right.
He's going to
okay.
become Sam.
Oh, God. I don't want t-shirts with my face on. Thank you very much.
Is that a challenge?
Absolutely. Right. It is
Oh, no,
dark.
it's dark. Okay. So...
The wind blows through the trees and you can hear the rustling of leaves. The wind isn't cold, it is a warm wind. We have been blessed with a very bountiful summer. And the summer is coming to its close, but we still have those warm and light nights. It has definitely been a warmer year. And residents of towns, cities, and villages alike have basked in this. Business has been booming in regards to growth in fields and cultivation of all sorts of vegetation and fruits and wines. It's been a brilliant year for prosperity wherever you hail from. Nizum, is that how I pronounce your name?
Nizum.
Nizum. It is dark. It is late at night. You can't see the stars through the trees of the canopy, through the canopy of the trees. The moonlight is blocked. You walk through the forest. You know the direction and where you need to go. You've been told. Not so much you've been told, you feel it. That pull. That call. And you make your way through the night because I suppose for a being like yourself, walking through the night is probably a little bit more pleasant for yourself than during the day. And you make your way through the trees, and the pull is ever so strong. You feel like you're close. You don't know where you're going. You've never been to this part of the continent before. You've not been to many parts of any continent before. This is all new territory for you. Can you make me a perception check, please?
So I can. As I wander through, and then my one paw steps upon mossy, soft ground, and presses into the mulch, leaving small marks, small claw marks, and then the other leaving a rather ungainly shaped footprint. With the other foot, I peel back branches and bracken and make my way through my hood, covering most of my head, and just sniff the air and I will roll that die. There's a 12.
Yeah, that will do. You see ahead of yourself a very dim light in the undergrowth, and like a pale white light in. And the closer you get, you start to see a few of these thin, pale white lights.
Oh, sorry, just randomly rolled something. Don't just ignore
That's
that,
all right.
please.
You do a backflip for the sake of it. Just for shits and giggles. There's quite a few of these strands of thin white light in the undergrowth, probably about 60 feet ahead.
Do they seem like attached to the undergrowth? Are they strung between, or are they moving between, leaving like a vapor trail type thing?
There's no vapor trail. There is a gentle sway. The trees are starting to become a little bit more sparse here, as if you've made your way to the edge of the woods.
Like they were lanterns?
Not so much. The light is elongated.
Is it like
Like you had a very thin, like when you
like
get
a glow stick? Yeah, I was
Yeah,
about to say
but
like
it's like a thin glow stick white light, but even thinner. And there's quite a few of them in the undergrowth.
do I think this
Further
is
ahead, about
some
60
sort of
feet.
phosphorescent creature?
Could be. You wouldn't know until you got closer.
Okay, I will
You can
approach.
smell in the air wood smoke, like the burning of campfires, bonfires,
And that's in the same direction?
coming from the same direction. It is faint, but you can definitely smell that in the air, especially with your senses.
Okay, I would like to kind of circle. I won't approach directly. I will kind of move round to see if there are these glow lights around an area surrounding like a campfire, if they are like a perimeter or something
You
like
don't
that.
see a fire, but as you get closer, you do start to see, you approach the outskirts of a grove, like a meadowy orchard that kind of expands out. And the closer you get, the more and more you start to see of these thin bits of light, some ranging from about a foot from the ground up to 3 or 4 feet from the ground.
And are they
And as you get,
are they attached to a tree or in a bush, or are they just
they
literally
are
floating?
attached to
Okay.
ferns.
Mhm.
A fern is a very common plant. See them in all sorts of woodlands, all over the place, at least you would assume. But these particular ferns, when you lift them up, the entire of the underleaf,
Mhm.
all the strands and veins of the leaf, they glow with this phosphorescent white light.
Hmm.
And you look up and you can see the moon, Celine, in the sky, probably about half crescent.
Mhm.
And you can just see about a small glimmer of its younger sister Nyx on its outer orbit, floating around. And basking down in the moonlight, you look across and you just see a wave of all these ferns with the slight glow coming from underneath the leaf. You
Mhm.
bend the fern back and you leave it. You kind of step back and you take in this sight of this glowing grove of ferns.
Do I think I
Yep.
could
Go
harvest
on.
any of this as a light source? Is it bright enough to see by? Is it bright enough to like illuminate out, or is it just like a glow stick where it only lights within a small space?
The light of it would be pretty tricky to harvest this stuff successfully in a way just using the light that it produces.
Okay.
You would probably have to ignite a light source of your own to be able to make sure that you're harvesting this in the correct way.
Okay.
If you want to pick it like any other leaf, then yeah, you could certainly try. But by looking at this stuff, you would have an idea that this isn't natural in the way of any normal plant. You probably have to go about this a bit more carefully,
Okay.
and that would require a bit more light.
I will take note of it, and if there's a specific leaf pattern I can recognize of this specific kind of fern, and
Yeah.
I'll write it like I'll just call it, I'll put it in my head as like a glow fern.
Yep.
As a new piece of information, like that fills my mind. And then I will proceed into the grove, keeping my eyes, keeping to the edges, and trying to find the source of this campfire. I know the smell of fire. I know the smell of heat and cooking, and from where I've been around, like Bunsen's and the fireplace and cooking meats and
What's your
vegetables.
passive perception?
My passive is boop, 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 boop. Passive perception is 14.
14.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You see another light similar to that of the ferns, but it's moving in a very different way. It is moving around the edge of the grove. It is moving towards you.
Okay. Height.
Between 5 and 6 feet.
Okay. I will then make an attempt to hide.
Okay.
Tuck
Roll me
myself
a stealth check.
to see this thing come by. Excuse me, my nose is running. I do
That's all right.
apologise. Okay, here we go for a Dexy, stealthy, vanishy, McJoggy. Sorry. Oh, come on. It won't let me scroll. Come on, D&D Beyond. You handy little tool that doesn't want to work. Come on, D&D Beyond. Why won't it let me scroll any further down? Okay, it's a +2. I know it's a +2. I'm just going to have to roll a real dice. Just a second, because it won't let me go down any further on my app for some reason.
My brand new like Eldritch Eye dice.
Oh, that is terrible. That is a 5. Surprisingly enough, no.
It's good enough.
Really?
Yeah. You rolled bad, but I rolled well.
Okay.
You lower yourself down below the leaf canopy of the ferns, and you kind of just lower yourself below these ferns into the ground. And it's amazing from this angle when your head is so close to the ground and you're looking up and you can just see
all these glowing
underneath of all these ferns. It's like being underneath a glowing canopy of trees. It's really just quite a serene sight.
like a
And
network
you start to hear footprints through the undergrowth coming round and from behind you. And you hear a voice. I know you're here. I saw you. What are you doing in the grove? This is off limits. Who are you? Show yourself. You hear the slow unsheathing of a blade.
I will. Can I get a sneaky look from my hiding vantage, or have I got to stay completely hidden? Is it
Because
not-
this
is it
person was trying, because this person had already spotted you
Seeking,
in
okay.
distance and was trying to sneak around you, you spotted them making their way around to you. And they've come round from behind you and you've lowered yourself down into the undergrowth. So they're kind of approaching from behind. So if you wanted to have a look, you could, but you would probably have to make me another stealth check and a bit of
No,
movement.
I will lower my ears, and I will.
Please, please, we mean you no harm, no harm. No harm is meant. I will show myself.
And I will just slowly raise my body up.
We did not know that there was a forbidden place. We apologize.
Who are you? What is your purpose here? As you turn around, you see a leather-armored young man. Can't be more than 25. Short brown hair, bit of scruff. Wearing a cloak. And you realise now from this cloak that there is embroidery in this cloak. And there is some kind of crest of artwork of a fern. But it's glowing just like the underleaf of these ferns on this cloak, causing this gentleman to have a little bit of dim light glowing from himself. And he stands there kind of like with his sword kind of outstretched a little bit, but as you speak, kind of lowers.
He has to point it quite a way down as I stand up, and probably just about my head is above the underbrush, and then I kind of like I will look up to this face, and he will peer down upon my strange form, and my ears will flip back up where they're cut through the holes in my cloak, which is tattered and sort of tattered and like Hessian kind of material, and kind of got this kind of like a residue of like white powder all over it, that kind of sticks in the folds and in the crevices. And I just raise my hands, and they're these thin pink elongated fingers with like quite sharp little claws on the end of them. Very humanoid, very human-like, but not. The wrists are too long, and the hair is too thick on the beginning of the arms, as they come out of the cloak.
We are lost. We seek. We seek. We follow.
I mean, who are you and what is your business here?
Well, Nezum. They call me Nezum. I am Nezum.
Nizu.
Nezum
What are you doing in Silverfern?
in silver. This is what the place is called.
Yes.
I have a calling to come to Silverfern.
You're responding to the councillor's recruitment.
Yes.
Oh. Oh, and here was me thinking you were another one of those bandits coming to rob us blind.
Oh, no. You have Nezum mistaken for a bandit.
Yeah, you don't
No, bandit.
look like one of them.
No. Nezum doesn't look like most things, I don't think.
You
Who
should
are who
probably-
you?
My name's Liam. I'm one of the guard here.
Liam.
Well, I am now.
Liam.
If you're coming here to join, we're not in any position to be turning down anyone, but you should probably speak to Alaire.
A layer.
Alaire, yeah, she's the one that organized the whole push for recruitment, sent out the letters. Did you get one, or?
Damaged, lost on way. So much shrubs.
Yeah, it can be like that. Right, well,
Liam.
yes, Liam.
On
Nazum.
your Nizum. I am Nizum.
Right,
Call
Nazum,
me
do you want
Nizum.
to follow me back to town, and I'll show you where Alaire is, and she can get you. Well, I say,
Leum. Leum. Your chest, it glows with a symbol.
oh, that's the cloak. Yeah, they're pretty cool. Everybody in the guard gets one. They make them from the Silverferns, and they just have a little bit of light to them.
If you
They're
wish
pretty
to
good for
move,
getting around at night.
if you wish to move without being seen, though, Liam.
Well, as a guard, we don't tend to not be seen. That kind of the whole point is being seen.
Ah, you are a wise one, Liam.
Thanks. Somebody would tell my mum that. But
I will.
cool. Well,
Take me to your mother.
let's take you to Alaire first, because I'm sure she'll have some questions for you, and then.
She's not your mother.
No, Alaire's not my mum. No,
Oh.
but maybe she pops by the garrison now and again. Anyway, follow me. You follow.
I put my
Liam.
hand out.
He kind of sheathes his sword and goes for your hand and kind of pulls you up.
No, I'd like to be led. Like to be led along.
Oh.
Like
Kind of takes your hand and kind of walks with you. Like it's weird because he's putting his fingers and he's trying to do that thing where he interlocks fingers to
Yeah.
kind of grasp, but yours are much longer.
yeah,
than
mine
his.
come up to like
And
his
kind
wrist.
of wrap around his whole.
Yeah.
And it's a bit like you can see he's really unnerved by your appearance. He's never seen anything like you before. But at the same time, like you haven't been threatening in any way, shape, or form. And he does look a bit wet behind the ears. So
Yeah.
he doesn't really want to be aggressive if he can get away with it. So he's just going to take you at your word and take you to town. Right. So we're going to go back to Silverfern. We are going to go to the Silver Leaf Inn.
The Silver Leaf Inn.
The Silver Leaf Inn. Yes, Cass. You're muted.
Oh.
I
Oh.
love Nazum.
Hmm?
I love him.
You're
I want one.
going to get one soon. Right.
No, just like a little gremlin to be like friendly. I
We're
don't
going
know
to
if you are
go
a gremlin.
straight
remind me-
to the Silverleaf Inn. Here at the Silverleaf Inn, we have Elder. Now, Elder is a slight older halfling lady. She is the proprietor of the Silverleaf Inn. And currently in the Silverleaf Inn, you have Luck and you have Knick-Knack. Luck, you're familiar with the town. You're familiar with Elder. It is probably the night before the end of summer festivities are beginning in town. There is a little bit of a buzz about the place. People are having drinks and enjoying themselves and enjoying the preparations. There in the main market square, there are people putting out stalls and getting decorations ready for the next coming days. Again, it's been a very successful harvest. It's been a wonderful summer, and people just want to celebrate it coming to a close. So you're just probably hanging around the inn a little bit. You're helping Elder out. There's probably a bit more of the town that have turned out tonight in preparation for the next few days of celebrations. So you're just giving her a hand here and there. She kind of runs the place on her own ever since her husband, her late husband died probably a couple of years ago now. Her husband, who is Helben, I believe. Helben, yeah. So Elder. Knick-Knack, you are diligently sat in the tavern watching your arcane friends stuff. You have a room here at the tavern. I say you have a room, you share a room with your companion, and you have part of that room, and you are just you're trying to figure out what to do with yourself. There's a bit of hustle and bustle. You've heard about this drive, this recruitment to help protect the town, and it's piqued your interest. But you're still probably debating with yourself whether they'd even consider somebody like you. So yeah, what are the pair of you doing then? Explain to. So you're in the Silverleaf Inn. There's a little bit of hustle and bustle. Elder's going around. She's making pints. She's running, getting food, throwing bread and bits of stew and hearty stew in bowls and taking them around. What are we doing?
Knick-Knack will literally be tinkering. So Pudgy, the little pug, will be recharging in front of the fire. And Knick-Knack will have the table covered with all sorts of random stuff. Most people would consider it rubbish. There'll be a broken horseshoe. There's odds and ends of all sorts. I know Pete loves a list of random items. It's probably half of them and they're all broken. He does have a little stone with a red circle painted on it. And every so often he's sitting there and he's trying to make things do it. And he just hits the red button. And it goes, go on, you've got this. As he's trying to make something work. Not quite sure what it's going to do just yet, but it's going to be sort of something that will hopefully help.
So you hit this red button. Roll me a d20.
This is like a D20 table of random homunculi.
No. The red button isn't the homunculus. It's one of those little tinkered things. It literally is activated. It says this. It's his motivation thing. Is I'm stuck. I've got a mental block.
So you hit the red button, and for a moment, nothing happens.
That will probably stop
you
me.
hit it again,
I'll be like,
and nothing happens. And then you kind of push it to the side, and you start tinkering with some other bits, and you start to hear a whirring. The whirring increases in tempo and rhythm, and gets faster and louder, and then you start to see sparks flying off of it. What is it that it was meant to do? What were you designing?
That's literally it. It's minor tinkering. It is literally a thing that when you press the button, it says, "Come on, then you've got this."
It's like one of those it's one of those posters that like hang in there, but it's like it's an audio version of it.
So it's like a little like magic mouth, like it's come on, you've got this.
Yeah,
basically, yeah. It's
self-motivational tools.
So sparks start flying. You don't know where the sparks are coming from or why. Whatever the motor is in this thing, it is whirring at a much faster bit of horsepower than you intended this thing to be.
You can do this, you can do this, you can do this.
And then suddenly, just blaring from this object, come on then, you've got this! And everyone kind of turns around and is like, what the hell? Like, and it's just like, what? Like everybody's looking around trying to scan to see like who shouted that.
So
everybody in the bar just suddenly feel really inspired and just like, yeah, I do. I can finish my.
It's just like somebody's just seen like their favorite sports team like score.
Yeah.
But everybody's just like, but there isn't a what? Is somebody playing a game or something? And like looking around, because this is a room full of people that are like are ready to celebrate, and it feels like, oh, like they almost
Started.
almost like raise their drinks and cheer in a way that they're going along with it just out of spirit, and then they're like, oh, nothing. Oh, okay.
And there will be Nick Nack just in the corner, just sort of going shit, 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 and smacking it with a little tinkering hammer.
And then you just hit Nick Nack. Language, please. I might run a tavern. I might run an inn. And I might get all sorts of vagrants stay here, but it is a respectable establishment, and I will make sure that I have young ears not hear such language. Thank you.
Okay.
Did you want some stew? You've been at that for a very long time.
That's probably when the realization is that I've been buried in this probably for the last sort of collection of hours, you know, completely focused in, zoomed in, and then yes, realizes absolutely ravenous. Oh yeah, that would be really good.
Yeah,
Have you got
she
some?
takes off a tray and she pops down a bowl that she's going around with bowls of stew, just trying to.
Have you got any of
There's
that nice
obviously
bread?
some that's left at the bottom of the cauldron that she's trying to sell so she doesn't have to throw away.
Have you got any of that nice bread that's not like rock?
No.
It looks sort of slightly crushed.
There's the crusty bread on the
Yeah,
tray.
yeah, no, like that's it. Like literally, Nick Nack is used to sort of, you know, stale old. God knows how
She's got
old.
some nice big thick, like almost
Yeah,
like
oh,
sourdough,
absolutely,
where
yeah.
it's got a big hard crust. Like if you put your teeth into it, it can break. But it's not stale. It's just really crunchy.
Yeah, that's what I mean. No, that's good for Nick Nack. This is
You
amazing.
get a few bits
It's
of
the best bread ever.
sourdough that I've just thrown on top of your stew. Look, Nick Nack, I know you've only been here a few days, but maybe you should look at something else to focus on while you wait for their return. Alaire is meeting the new recruits tomorrow. Maybe you can go and at least hear them out, see if it is something you want to do. They can't say no if you haven't asked. Luck, you're going, aren't you? Luck? Luck, where are you?
Right behind you, dear.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah, well, you're very quiet. You're going tomorrow, aren't you, to see Alaire?
Of course I'm going. This is
What's
my
the day that-
town.
Get this little goblin out from beneath my feet. Take him with you. He's getting oil everywhere.
All right. Knick-knack, was it?
You know,
Aye. I'm
that's
Luck.
Pudgy, and that's Links.
Why don't we take your little invention somewhere else?
He will literally just sort of open his bag and just sort of slide everything in, sort of, you know.
Dear, do you have a rag? Because of the hole, I think our little friend here can just wash up the oil a tiny bit.
She goes behind bar. She picks up a wooden bucket full of used soapy water that is probably now cold, and she dumps it on the table with a cloth in front of Nick Nack, expecting him to clean it himself.
As you look at Nick Nack, you realise that he has probably never had a bath ever. He is grubby. He has random bits twined into his little goblin sort of hair. Very, very bright orange eyes. Looks amazed at a lot of stuff, but not the most genteel person you're ever likely to meet.
You might want to clean him up before you take him to see Alaire. Give him a fighting chance.
I mean, he's going to have a fighting chance, even though he's dirty. We do need recruitments.
I just don't want him scaring the locals, especially the children. If you're meant to be helping everyone, not scaring them.
Sometimes being scary is helping, but I
Oh,
get
well,
what you mean.
tell that to the bandits. Anyway, sort him out. Get him out of here. And then if you can help me come and tap the ales, I'd be very appreciative. They're much... I can't... I'm getting too old to lift them now.
I will help you, but you know I'm not that strong.
I can help. I'm very strong.
It's tiny
Checking.
goblin, like
I just want to... Well, the way he currently rolled, I'm just checking his sheet now to see how strong he actually is. Because seeing the way he rolled his stats earlier, he actually is pretty fucking strong for a goblin.
shit hot muscle beef goblin from the streets.
Just all of a sudden, you take all the rags
I
off.
tell you what, then, Nick, if you sort out my ale barrels downstairs in the cellar so I don't have to, you can have as much stew as you want.
Okay, we're on it. Come on, Pudgy. And
Cass,
little pug dog will get up and start trotting over with some words and clicks.
Eight.
Cass. Your heartbeat is starting to come back to normal.
Okay.
You're taking some deep breaths. You're calming yourself down. You've got what you needed to get, and you're making your way back to town. While you haven't really been to Silverfern before, you did pass it on your way by. And on the edge of town, you can see burning fires through the windows, the smoke billowing from the chimneys. You can hear the raucous laughter, and you can see the Silverleaf Inn. An inn's as good a place as any.
I guess this is where we're going. Just lets himself in. He
You
seems
open the
to
door.
duck, despite the fact that he's not. He's ducking unnecessarily as he walks in.
You walk into the inn. You see quite a lot of patrons. This buzz of pre-celebratory, like it's almost like tension, but it's not tension. It's excitement. It's like the place is ready to just burst into song. As you walk through the door, you see further over by one of the tables a rather tall woman, and next to this tall woman, you see a very short halfling elderly lady, and on beside them, you see a very small goblin. You haven't seen goblins in a while, especially not around here. Alda turns around and sees you walk in. Cass? Cass,
Yes.
what are you doing back so soon? You said you weren't going to be back. I think I distinctly remember you saying you were very happy to put this town behind you.
Well, I heard you had problems. Bandit
Oh, that
attacks.
bleeding heart get the better of you, did it?
Well,
You seemed in quite a rush to leave. What brought you back so soon?
I wasn't planning on staying long, and then I heard about the attack.
Well, if you are so interested in staying, I've already
Don't
sold
tell
your
me.
room. somebody else has taken it. It's busy enough around here as it is. You'll have to stay down here tonight. Maybe they can sort you something out at the barracks tomorrow. Luck and Knick-Knack here are off to see a lair tomorrow about the posts. You can go with them. Just keep the place tidy and make sure the door is locked. If you go out after I've locked up tonight, make sure you lock it behind you. And please don't punch anyone again.
Never. Best behaviour.
Hmm.
Hmm.
She frowns and kind of walks away back down to around the bar and starts pouring more tankards and popping them on trays, ready to do another circle of the room.
I think I made a bad choice.
Does anybody want to do anything before the evening closes?
Locke is just
He-
sitting quietly, watching over Knick-Knack occasionally.
I want to know. Oh, sorry, go on.
If anyone's paying attention to what Cass is doing, he starts fixing a hole in his jacket.
I want to know this Knick-Knack barrel tapping scene. Like that, like how he rolls them out, how he gets them up onto the thing with the collection of creatures.
Let's perhaps some athletics checks, shall we?
Yeah, I want to see this happen.
So Knick-Knack's downstairs in the cellar. He's got a mountain of barrels that have all been
Is it
stacked
like
up.
on tap, or
Full
is it
of
like barrels
ale.
on the back of the
There's
bar?
a rack where all the barrels go onto, and then they
Yeah.
get tapped and hooked up.
I think
Ready.
the first thing he's going to do is start sort of climbing up a wall and trying to put in a hook in the ceiling so he can like sort of set us up some sort of pulley system.
You're going to set up a brand new pulley system so that Elder can do it by herself, just pulling a rope, rather than having to lift and hurl these things. I love that.
That's
I
the
absolutely
artificer.
love that. Make me, what kind of tools check would that be that you're proficient in?
Smarter, not harder.
Proficiency: cooks, jewelers, smiths, thieves, and tinkers.
Um,
So most
One
of
of
them.
those got to be it.
It'd be tinkering, wouldn't it? Because you
I'd say it'd be tinkering at this level. Yeah. Go on then. Make me a tinker tools check, and then we're going to do.
Intelligence proficiency.
Sorry.
Intelligence proficiency.
yeah, because you're proficient with the tool.
Yeah. So that's basically going to be the same as my Arcane roll, because I've made a button for it. Knick-Knack is the anti-Jack.
Did he roll good?
I rolled 26.
26
Damn.
at level 3.
It was a 19, but yeah.
Damn.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you fashion a pulley system there. Something that's helped already is the fact that you see these hooks, metal hooks in the ceiling already, where it looks like they used to be used to hang carcasses, hang meat. It looks like Elder hasn't been capable of doing that for a long time, but the hooks are still there. And using these hooks, you've been able to loop the rope around them and help use that to fashion your pulley system. It comes
Is
with a
Luck
whole
watching
platform that
doing
you've
this
managed
or
to loop
not?
these ropes through, and you can literally slide it under the barrels and then pull these barrels and swing them over from one loop to the next and slide them into where you need to without much strength at all. So I'm not going to make you need to do an athletics check after that 26 on the tinkering check, because what you have designed, almost a child could use to move these barrels around. So yes, you have vastly over this evening downstairs tinkering away, improved Elder's ease of life when it comes to running this tavern, at least for the alcohol side of things. Anything else anybody wants to do for the rest of the evening?
I would just be being led by Liam through the.
So Liam will take you to the guards barracks, and he shows you into where all the guards usually bunk up and sleep, for those of the ones that are on duty and don't go home anyway. You see a couple of people asleep in bunk beds, waiting for their early morning shift. And he just points out a bunk to you and he goes, "There, you can sleep in that one, and then in the morning I'll introduce you to Alaire. We'll go through
Liam!
starting tomorrow." So
Thank you, Liam.
And I go over towards the bunk. Is it like a stacked bunk? How is it?
it's just a two bunk, so one higher, one lower.
Okay, and yeah, I go over to it and I immediately crawl underneath and curl up in a little ball.
Nazem,
Liam!
you can sleep on the mattress. They have been cleaned. Captain would make us clean them every day before we went home.
I come out from underneath and I place my hand on the mattress and lift like the
It's not
sheet.
the thickest mattress in the world, but it's a mattress, something you've probably never slept in before.
I peer under the blanket.
There's no
Sniff.
bed bugs. I don't care what people say. We clean our sheets.
And then quick as a flash under the sheet.
Right, well, good night.
Just my little nose
Go
pokes out.
back out on
Just
patrol.
nose and mouth out from underneath.
Good night, Liam.
He kind of just pauses for a moment, just like, what have I found? And then just kind of just walks out and returns back down towards the grove where he was keeping watch. Right, the next day comes, and you all awake from your slumbers.
I like the idea that he's just completely underneath the blanket. It's just a big guy.
Oh yeah,
Lump.
no. Yeah, he doesn't get in properly. It just dives underneath, yeah. In the middle.
In the morning, you all awake. Luck, you stroll back from your home, back to the inn where you pick up knick-knack. You kind of give Cass a kick, who's asleep on one of the benches with his newly patched coat that he's fashioned as a blanket underneath him, and an upside down wooden bowl that he's used as a pillow. And you kind of give him a nudge to wake him up before you take these two odd fellows back towards the guard barracks here in Silverfern. You can start to see some of the watch that are outside. You can see people like on the bits of their leather armor and their gauntlets. You can see some people polishing and sharpening swords. A lot of these people look young, like they're youngsters from the town that have kind of signed up for multiple reasons, maybe because they wanted to defend the town, maybe their parents were like, it's about time you did something, kind of thing.
Am I familiar
Um,
with some of them?
You've seen some of these faces around before. Some of them have worked fields before. Some of them are troublesome teenagers that, the kind of ones that hang around the park and don't do much. That they're probably the ones that whose parents have been fed up with their antics and gone, right, you're going to go and join the watch, kind of thing. And some of them you recognize that their parents are with the guard that have gone to go and search for these bandits, so they've stayed behind
Too much sweetness.
and they're doing their part here. So there's an array of different people from the town, and a few faces that are unfamiliar to you as well. Other people that have travelled from nearby areas, whether it's smaller homesteads where they've come and they feel that if they help protect this town, maybe their homesteads will be safe as well, and wayward bandits won't just roam through. Some people are doing that classic RPG NPC thing where you go near a guard barracks and you see people hitting wooden straw bales on mannequins, like practicing moves. Some of them are very, let's say, wooden in their movement.
She's going to approach maybe one of the youngsters she's most familiar with, like, well, hello. I don't expect to see you here.
Well, Dad's gone off. Mum's fed up with me being around the house, so told me that I either had to come and join the watch or had to find somewhere else to sleep, so I'm here.
Well, your mother's spirited, that's for sure.
Spirited is one word for it.
Just don't get in trouble, okay?
Look, I've learnt my lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's not like I've got anywhere else I can go. Might as well look after here. If I don't look after here, where else have I got?
You'll be fine, Jonathan.
Yeah. Well,
you're not the one babysitting two new persons into town.
kind of looks and sees Cass and Knick Knack. Are they letting anybody in?
Apparently.
Then behind
They're letting me
Jonathan,
back.
behind Jonathan, you see like this bundle of bedding travel behind the. About 3 foot tall.
I'm not even going to ask.
And then it falls, stands up.
The barracks building is probably the most well fortified structurally building in the town. It has elements of stone and ramparts and bits to it. And walking out onto one of these ramparts on this kind of balcony-esque looking part, she goes, you hear a voice going, right then, can everybody gather round, please? Everyone. Thank you. Yes, please stop hitting the mannequins. Come over here, please. Thank you. Right, well, some of you have met, some of you I haven't. My name's Alaire Bloom. I'm one of the local councillors here. It was Baylor and Clad's idea to do this big push to try and protect our town, to make sure that nobody takes advantage of it in its current state. So if you've seen a letter with my signature on or a poster anywhere nearby, then it's me. So welcome. Have any of you got any combat or guard experience at all by raise of hand, please? Hello? Who's that? And you see kind of Liam kind of walk up next to her and goes, turned up last night, said that he had heard the call and he came. Right. So look, I don't know. You're the one that put these things out.
Luck is just waving like,
Hello.
Hello, Luck.
You're okay, you're doing good.
Right. So the last few days, those of you that have never picked up a blade have been doing drills. I must enforce the idea that the blades are only to be used if absolutely necessary. If you feel like your life is in danger or the lives of other citizens, that is only when you should be drawing your blade. You should not be drawing your blade to sort out normal disputes. Are we clear? You hear some disgruntled, like, yeah, yes, yes, yes. And you hear some of the younger ones
Yes,
that are just
Mom.
like, yes, and like standing up in attention like they're soldiers kind of thing. Yes, small one in the cloth.
I have yet to be given a blade.
I see. Those of you that have arrived just this morning, if you make your way over to the barracks, you'll be given the right equipment, and we will give you your posts and your duties for the day. For those of you that don't have lodgings here in the town, you can pick a bunk here in the barracks.
Thank you, Alea
You can have a
Bloom.
room. You're welcome. Sorry, what was your name?
You may call me Nazum.
Nazum, have you signed the register yet, Nazum?
Register sign.
The list.
Show me.
When you go to collect your gear, just
Uh-huh.
sign the list. That way we have a list of everybody that is on duty. It will be there that you will find your daily shifts, where you're being posted, and what your responsibilities are for the day.
Yes. You should
Yes.
see my name written upon the list.
Good. Does anybody have any questions, or can I hand you all over to Sergeant Liam here? If you've got any further questions about
Liam, you
how to
sergeant?
handle certain issues, then please speak to Thomas. And Mara's in a rather bad mood today, so please nobody give her a reason to punch you. I've had enough reports as it is. Let's just continue.
You
They-
punched someone again.
Sorry?
Did you punch someone again?
Look, let's not be honest. It's not like they don't give her the right excuse to.
True enough.
Anyway, I must stress the reason behind this push is to show strength, is to show solidarity, to show that this community, that its citizens are being looked after, that we are looking out for our people, and we are not vulnerable while our best and brightest are out seeking justice for those horrible acts that were committed towards us. So please, don't make my life any more difficult than it needs to be, as well as your own.
The green one wants something. Helena Bloom.
The green. Oh, hello. I don't believe we've met.
Do you know when Master Ilerod is going to be back? We were supposed to be going somewhere.
Master Uller, oh yes, he was the wizard, was he not?
Yes.
Well-
pointy ears. Not as pointy. Pointy ears.
We were expecting word back from them at this point. They said they would
Yes.
send word about and report back to us about their findings and the search, and we haven't received anything back as of yet. As soon as we do, I will make sure that any word from Master Elamon will return to you. Currently, however, we are still waiting to hear if they have managed to catch up with the perpetrators. Any other questions? No? Brilliant. Can I all ask those of you that haven't signed the register, please sign the register before you start collecting your gear. Please, no fighting over the bunks. If it's already taken, find another one, and I will see you all tomorrow.
I will make my way to wherever it is.
Thomas will give you your assignments. And she kind of wanders off a little bit. And kind of Liam steps into the back and he's like, right, you heard the councillor. Everybody to it.
Liam is sergeant. Liam is strong. Liam, you did not say.
Listen, no, well, I don't need to. I am sergeant for now, at least until the other sergeants return. Thomas and Mara are also sergeants, and we are in charge of making sure that you all behave, as it were. And then you're all in charge of making sure that everybody else behaves. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
I'd say yes.
Are you
Yes.
saying that to me?
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. Go and sign the register. Go and get your gear. Come on, let's move. Times are wasting. Posts are to be filled.
Make my way.
So
I like to think the register is already signed for me.
yes, you'll have already signed the register. You already planned on doing this. As you make your way over
Cass.
to the base of the stairs by the bottom of the balcony, there is a desk where there is a clerk. Again, one of the younger faces is holding out the book, is just asking people for their names, their lodgings, whether they're staying somewhere else within the town, whether they're staying at the inn, or whether they need a room at whether they need a bed at the barracks, and you have to sign the column and then you ask for a signature at the end. So you're all in line. You all fill out the signatures, mark down whether you need to stay at the barracks or whether you have a room at the inn. Yeah.
So it literally Knick-Knack will fill in 3 lines for Knick-Knack, Pudgy, and Links.
Okay. Awesome.
Nezum doesn't
Right.
understand the quill and just dips his finger in the ink pot and writes Nezum.
From some shelves at the back, a big bundle kind of gets handed over to you, get pushed over to you into your chest, and you're going to take it. And here you find a cloak, you find some boots, you find some leather strap gauntlets. There is a short sword blade and a small dagger. You will also find a notepad with a little lead pencil. If you can all go to your inventory and search Guard of Silverfern cloak, and you can add that to your inventory. It should be there as a homebrew item.
When Cass writes his name, he writes Cass perfectly. And you know, whenever you were like in school, and you didn't know what the answer is, and sometimes you draw you write a scribble and hope for the best.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that
The item isn't
for
here.
the last name.
Sorry?
The item isn't here.
Have you allowed homebrew stuff on your character sheet?
Yeah. If you, in your character settings, you need to have homebrew enabled to be able to search it. It is shared, so it should be there.
It is, I found it.
Cool.
Yeah,
If you
yeah.
add that to your... I haven't tested the item. I've made it. I haven't tested it on a character yet. But essentially, when attuned and worn correctly, the item provides you with +1 to perception checks, and you emit a 5-foot dim light glow, but also -1 to stealth checks. Hopefully it works. I don't know yet. I haven't tested it.
Yeah,
So
it's
Do
cool.
you want us to attune to it now?
it's up to you. It's up to you. But before you go on post, you will be expected to be wearing your gear.
Okay. I'll attune it now and just see if it does all the stuff. There you are. +2 should come up as a -1. Oh,
Is
man.
the lair still around?
Alaire kind of went back into the main barracks building.
If we already have weapons with us,
Yeah, it
would
does
it
work.
be
It's done the
considered-
minuses. Sorry.
If you have your own blades, they probably would have noticed, like, do you want it or not kind of thing. If you don't
Sort
need
of
it,
like
we'll
he just,
keep
like,
it, but
pushes
give
it
it to
back.
somebody else, because they don't have an array of blades to be handing out if you don't need one.
Like he takes the dagger and just pushes the short sword back and just gestures to one that's like slung over his back.
Oh,
It's
oh,
fine.
well, you'll
It's a little thing, but
you'll be
you know, it's
good.
useful.
I don't
Yeah.
take any of the weapons. I just take the paper and the cloak.
Cool.
Nezum has
Right,
no need
so-
for these things.
I just like the idea of it when he wears the cloak. You know, when like kids like do cloaks, it's just over their heads.
It's just like pretending to be Jedi. So Thomas gathers everybody around in a crowd and starts reading off from a list your posts for the day, your jobs, and reports of particular crimes and things that need to be addressed, and he will do that. Right, so first thing I need you guys to decide is Do you want individual assignments? Do you want to be split off into pairs? Or do you want to go off in a group?
Let's do it. I'm voting above table for a group assignment, so that we gauge what we do and how we interact.
Right. Anybody else? Any other opinions?
I
think it's
think a
better if we
group
do-
would probably be a good start.
Group? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Right. Somebody roll me a d20.
Oh dear.
I don't mind.
Who's on it?
Roll.
Okay, let me just do light.
Go on, Pete.
No, I haven't got it. You got
6.
another- Oh, 6. Cass has got it.
6. Vandalism. Graffiti has been discovered on the council building. You must be sent to investigate. Locals suspect troublemakers. So yes, so Thomas reads out your names. He goes, Luck,
Here.
can you do this the favor? Can you take the new vagrants? Can you
Mitchell.
take them on your first assignment? The council buildings had a bit of what can I say, graffiti.
Again.
Well, this one's been a little bit more unpleasant. It's been posted a little bit more directly about the mayor, Vela. If you can,
This mare,
the
Like a-
mayor.
like a horse mare.
No, the mayor. The mayor of the town, deputy of the council. Vela.
A leader.
Yes, of sorts. Deputy leader, you could say. Vela Brightwood. New to the post ever since, well, Garrick was murdered, but somebody obviously doesn't like the way that she got the job and has left some rather repugnant words for her on the council building. We've had some of the younger recruits starting to clean it off. However, there's a lot of it. If you could do some investigation into who did it, that would be very helpful.
Right. Give me 5 minutes. The time I just change into my
Right.
other equipment.
Luck, try and whip them into shape.
Sorry.
Try and whip them into shape.
I will
What
try.
is this? Whips?
A whip? No.
No,
No,
thank you.
not physically. Like, no, I don't. Luck,
I'll take care of it.
thank you.
Don't worry.
Liam kind of turns away and nods to Thomas, and they take their respective groups of new recruits off to do certain assignments.
Also,
Goodbye.
congratulations on your, well, new promotion.
I'm not meant to say thank you. It is meant to be an honor, not a. I'm very excited. I can't lie. It's nice to be able to tell people what
I
to do for
know you
once.
are. I know you are. It's fine. It's fine to be happy, you know?
My dad is so happy.
I
Anyway.
am happy for Liam too.
Thank you, Nesm.
Well, at least now you have a new friend too. See?
Yeah, I mean, I found him skulking about in the Grove last night, and then he said he had the call to come and be here. I don't know why he turned
Not
up at 10.
skulking. Seeking.
Seeking. Well, anyway, it's your problem now.
Liam.
What?
Liam.
Yes, Nizam.
The blanket.
It like pulls off the blanket, like the miles and
Thank
miles and
you,
miles of
Nizam.
blanket,
And
and you see Nizum for the first time, properly uncovered, about 3 foot tall. You see like a brown Hessian cloak with 2 holes cut towards the back, and you can see 2 large translucent ears that have got veins that you can see through, little round topped ears. poking out. You can see like this cloak with like two great big deep pockets on the side, and you can see a long snout that kind of peeks out from under the hood with a really animated snout on the end, and these kind of crooked and bent whiskers that kind of stick out at all angles. You can see two massive buck teeth at the front, one that is normal but very yellowed around the top, and the other that's kind of chipped and half smashed away. You can see these long, thin, humanish hands, but everything is elongated and strange. The joints are too long, and he has
You
like these
hear
dark
crash as one of the squires carrying the new equipment for new recruits trips over your tail and falls down the stairs.
Oh.
Nezum apologizes.
and he takes up this
Sorry.
He takes
Ow.
up this great big pink tail and kind of puts it over his shoulder, and like wraps it around almost like a scarf. And then you can see that, like, you can see out from beneath the cloak, which hits the floor, you can see like one normal like paw, and the other one you can see this kind of black leather stumpy kind of bag that's like all sewn together from scraps of some kind of strange, like a leather that doesn't look familiar. It doesn't look like cowhide, and he also wears a backpack that's made of the same fabric.
This is going to be a day.
Luck.
Yes.
Nezum.
Pleasure to meet you.
Sure. Luck.
Yes. Right. If you three can wait for me, I'm not exactly in my fully battle geared, so give me just 5 minutes, it will be quick.
In this time, Knickknack's strapped pretty much the entire kit of stuff, including the cloak, onto the back of Pudgy. Apart from the notebook and the pencil, which is like the best thing ever. And he's currently, if you look at him, he's drawing plans of automating the sort of the target dummies. So there's like pulley mechanisms and things like that, so they can kind of fight back.
Like it.
Oh no.
Oh dear.
Has completely not noticed the Zoom at all, really, because was thoroughly, I had an idea and I now have a way of recording it.
Yes, I can get it out of my head.
As you walk away from the barracks, you hear some screams and some shouts, and the clanging of metal as you see some new recruits just going,
As you tinkered with just one of them and haven't told anybody.
Training fatalities up 1000%.
Right, so the way this is going to work.
There's one of those boards
Yeah.
that says no fatalities in X many days. They have to take the sign down. 0.
It goes down from 3 back to
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the way this is going to work is that we're not going to full on role play every scenario, because I've got quite a list of scenarios that we play. We've got a whole table of different things, and we're going to do a few different things throughout the day of different things that you're going to have been called to based on the roles that you guys do. What I'm going to be assessing essentially is how you go about, in shorthand, how you want to deal with this. We're going to do some roles on how well you do deal with the problems, and that will be reflected back on people's opinions of you on how well you have gone about your duties.
Okay.
So, first duty of the day is that there has been some vandalism at the local council house, the council hall. There are some unsightly pictures and some rather bereft words that have been written about the new mayor. Some of the younger recruits are currently there scrubbing them out with soap and other chemicals that they have managed to get their hands on. Some things are coming out, some things aren't. There's some recruits there scrubbing away, going, "It's not coming off." So how do you want to go about this investigation? What do you want to do? How would you try and go about figuring out who's done this? Go on.
What colour was the council hall before?
So it's a stone build. It's a stone and wood building,
I was wondering
and
if it
the
was like
graffiti that's been put
whitewashed
on.
before.
Sorry,
If it was like whitewashed before.
wasn't whitewashed before. No, it's like timber
just
and
plain
stone.
stone.
It's not really painted in
Right.
any kind of way.
Oh, if it was painted, I'd just turned it with a bucket of paint and went, "This would probably be easier." Paint over it.
So suggesting that maybe they should just paint the council hall to cover it all up probably be a good idea.
I will suggest an option. No, it's up to the DM on this one, but Nazum will say,
I know a way to remove this disgusting words about the glorious what was her name? Vela. Disgusting lies. Disgusting lies. Would you like help?
Supreme leader.
Would you like help?
You kind of just see some of the younger people there, like afraid, but also, yes, please.
Stand away. Stand back.
I kind of put down the sponges and pick up the buckets and kind of take a few steps back.
I will look at one of them, which is and find the grubbiest looking one, and I will walk over to their cloak.
Hold still.
And I'll pick from their cloak a flea, and I'll hold it. And from my cloak, I will produce a rock crystal of salt, and I will just scrape my nail down it onto this little tiny flea, and then this one flea becomes 2 fleas, and these 2 fleas become 3 fleas, 4 fleas, 5 fleas, 6 fleas, 7 fleas, and I cast a cantrip infestation on the wall. And I send the infestation onto the wall, these tiny microscopic little creatures crawling up all the paint and start like nibbling away at these microscopic little sections and like eating if the
like termites.
Yeah, like literally just like I will cast it time and time again because it's a cantrip, so I can.
You hear one of you guys just being like, "That's just deeply disturbing, but really cool at the same time." Like, can you show me how to do that, Ratman?
Nezum, you may call me Nezum.
Nezum, can you show me how to do that?
Not show, but direct to where you may go. You need only listen.
Oh, where do I go?
Listen.
We don't really have a library here.
Listen. You hear it? The song. The dirge. Deep, low, steady.
Right. Thank you for your help, Luck and Nazum and whoever you two guys are.
You hear it, don't you?
Yeah, I hear it. I hear it.
Boys, before you go, do you know who was the first person to have seen those writings?
No, I don't.
Hmm.
We were just sent here to clean it. We don't know when it got here.
You just need to look at everyone's hands.
I
Like
don't
when
think
you
it's-
do this sort of stuff, it gets all over your hands and it like takes a while to go away.
Yeah, is there like paint, like drops here and there?
Yeah,
on the
let's
ground?
make some investigation checks.
Yeah.
Nazum will
Well,
just
that's-
gather his fleas back.
Can I roll my dice, or do you want me to roll on Beyond?
I'd like you to roll on Beyond.
Yeah. Investigation, yes.
Yes, please.
Oh boy. Yeah, no.
No, I didn't get it either. I should have stuck with passives.
While they're doing that,
11 isn't. 11 is okay. It's above average. We're not dealing with criminal masterminds here. We're dealing with
Jill.
vandals. So, as you clean up and help clean up, and the Zoom's fleas are scuttling at the texture, you notice that the paint that had been used, if you can call it paint, it seems to be a mixture of flour and water. So yeah, it seems that the main product of this mess is flour
And water.
and water and water. Water from the well, flour from many places. There is a local mill.
I was
Yeah,
going
there's all sorts.
to ask, if it's flour and water, where's like the local place that'd like sell a large amount of such substance?
Well, there is the
Because
mill
we need to
that
go.
from the fields where they grain the flour, where they grind the grain down into flour. There is a bakery.
I
So,
think
Wait,
They
watermill,
have flour for
windmill.
making pies, but yeah, there is a flour mill here on the outskirts of town.
my idea was to go to the mill and see who's bought like a large amount of flour recently,
Happy
enough
to
to
go.
make this much paint.
Okay.
Yeah,
Are we all going to go to the mill?
Yeah, I follow.
Yeah. And if I can assist. Like, do I remember anyone specifically that wasn't okay with, or their current mayor to access this position?
Make me a
It'd be like an insight, wouldn't it? Or
yeah. Make me. We'll go with insight because it's not so much you're remembering something; it's if you've previously detected something.
any
So make me an
animosity
insight.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make me an insight.
Fuck's sake! That's a 10.
You remember conversations with Alaire. And you remember her saying that some council discussions on practice and just legislation and how to handle miscreants and how to deal with certain disputes and just general council business. Some of it could be very dull, but despite the fact that it could be the most boring subject in the world, sometimes the discussions can get rather heated between different council members, but you can't remember exactly who. But you know that in all politics, you know this more than anyone, especially in politics. People can get pretty vicious.
As
So you make go on, sorry.
As we proceed along, could I want to see if there's anyone admiring their handiwork.
Make me a perception check.
That might give
You get a +1 from the Coke.
Oh yeah, I think it's automatically done it because I tuned it. It seems to be working mechanically.
As long as it works, great, brilliant. I'm glad I've managed to make something work.
Oh no, that's not bad. Critically Av.
Critically out. Okay, 13. You look around.
It was a 19 with the +5, and it just went dot dot and rolled off.
There's not a lot of people. You can see on the outskirts of the market square, there's a lot of hustle and bustle. The final decorations are being put up, stalls are being rolled in. There's a lot of carrying around of goods and preparations for tonight's festivities, but you do see a few kids hanging around. You see some younger teenagers and some 9 and 10-year-olds kind of just watching people having to clean and do something that they don't usually see on an everyday basis. It's something different. So you see a few kids hanging around watching, admiring handiwork.
Not sure.
Not sure.
I say to Cass, because he suggested that we go on.
Cass,
Yes.
when we have been to meal, if we find no trace, methinks the youngling ones might have ideas of who might have flour on their hands.
Bakers.
Why don't we ask them now before
It
they
is the
suggest it?
bakers.
No, I was
Now,
going to check the flour mill first and then the bakery.
don't make
Are we
any
approaching
rush.
it before we go to the mill, or are we going to the mill first?
Mills.
What do we want to do?
Let's do it in the order that we kind of decided.
So we're going to go to the mill
Mill
first.
with Cass. Cass's idea.
Okay, so
I would like to take notice of the people there, though.
Yeah, if
okay,
like,
you clock
That's
the
him. That's him.
faces.
That's him. That's him.
You
That's him.
clock the faces of the children. Luck, you would recognize some of these children. You would know them as Trina,
No, Trina. What?
who's a dark-skinned with kind of ashen curly hair, like halfling child, so rather small, even as a halfling. You see a rather kind of portly looking young boy called Dell. And then you see a bit taller, little bit older, probably only by maybe a year or two. You see a gnomish girl called Bunty. And yeah, you see these three that you recognize.
Just give them a little wave.
They're known to be a bit mischievous.
Yeah. So
They have their little gang that they run around and just have fun and play, and yeah. But even in times of trouble, kids still find a way to let their imaginations run wild.
I imagine Trina has like shorts on, but both of Trina's kneecaps contain no flesh, only scabs.
Oh yeah. Like hair is curly and knotted, like the dirt under the fingernails. Like they probably haven't even been out of bed and washed by parents long, but they're already out and they're already filthy. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. Luck is going to cast presentation, and she's just going to have a little woof of hair like coming from underneath them, like just to make enough to make their hair fly.
And they kind of just they kind of turn around and run off down the streets. We make our way to the mill. The mill isn't running at the moment. The what do you call them?
The sails.
The sails. The sails
It's
are
a
not turning.
windmill. It's a windmill,
It
not a
is,
watermill.
yes, it is stationary. The noise of grinding is not present. It is silent. As you approach the mill, the door is open, and you see one individual. You see an older man standing there, and he looks up at you as you approach and enter, and he goes, "Ah, you're here then. You got my report. About time you showed up. It's been 2 days."
Yes. Somebody stole a lot of flour.
Well, not a lot. I only stole about, from my count, about 2 bags. But I've had to replace the lock on the door. Who's going to pay for that?
How much are
Is the
locks?
lock broken?
Yeah. He takes out of his pocket and he just shows a padlock from an old, it's like a sliding bolt you put down, you put a padlock on, and the padlock's pretty much kind of like
Rendered.
open,
Let me
and it
have a
doesn't
look.
really clasp back down.
Let me have a look. And I'm going to start prodding and poking the lock. And
It looks like somebody's prized this padlock open.
I will try and cast mending on
Yeah, I do have mending also.
it.
But the artificer, come
Artificer.
on.
Yeah. He's just going to upgrade the lock, let's be honest.
Yeah, it's gonna have infrared sensors by the end of it.
No, it's just going to have a back door so I can press a button and it pops open.
or it has one of your like built-in voices like, "Welcome to the mill," when you open it.
Retinal
Oh, I
scan.
like that.
You have to retinal scan lock for the mill. The
What do you-
secure building.
Yeah. When do you
Most
reckon?
secure building here.
When do you reckon this theft has happened?
2 days ago.
Somebody came by 2 days ago, and I'm guessing in the night, broke open the lock and stole 2 bags of flour.
No traces?
No,
Hmm.
not that I'm aware of. I'm not an investigator.
Can I?
It's your job.
Can I roll?
Yeah, if you want to have an investigation, you want to have a look around.
I'm
Go
not
for it.
stepping on anyone's toes, are I? Am I?
No.
Place has been closed since. Haven't had anybody in or out.
Do they look like they've got like a backlog of like flour and stuff that needs grinding and things like that?
Like
Hey!
Was that 20?
Yep.
natural 20.
Oh
Okay.
boy.
For a 23.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
There is a lot
I
of bags
see.
of grain. Like there are carts of grain outside. Anybody who wanted to steal any grain could quite easily just come here in the night, pick up a bag of grain, and wander off. The summer has been kind.
The
The
rogueness in
yield
me's going, you're
of
making it
has
easy.
been bountiful. Food is probably the cheapest it has been in a long time here. This year has been very bountiful. The fact that they're not taking all the grain into the barns next to the mills and keeping it in storage there overnight, and they're just letting it sit there. The barns must be full if they've got carts outside the mill full with grain in. There are stacks and stacks of bags of flour inside. You think, so what? 2 bags of missing flour, like. It's not so much that he's pissed off that the flour's been stolen. It's that the place was broken into, a crime has been committed. He's reported it. He wants to know what you're going to do about it. It's more about the principle than it is about the flour.
Principle of the thing.
And the lock probably cost more
Than the
than
flour.
what those 2 bags of flour were worth.
So, was it any kind of specific flour that was stolen?
It's just grain flour. It's regular flour
I
that's
was-
used in cooking and
So
and
it
baking.
wouldn't make the red pigment of the flour.
The red no, there was no red pigment. It was white. The paint that was
The door
splattered
being
on the building was made from flour and from water.
Yeah, pigments.
There was no red pigments in it.
It was just white.
It was just white.
I was wondering if there was any trace of the person who nicked it.
You go inside and you
And I
look at
rolled a
all the
20.
stacks, and you kind of look for an unfinished stack. Where are the stacks? Like, if I walked in through the door, you put yourself in this mindset. You've just come in through the door. You've broken off the door with a crowbar. You open up the door. It's night. It's dark. The place is illuminated, like in darkness. You wouldn't have any open flames in this place because flour is very flammable. So you think, I'm going to steal some flour. I need to get some flour. I'm going to evangelize this to the council hall. So you're going to go for the nearest source available to you. So you immediately take a few steps in, and you look at the stacks in front of you, and you look up, and they're stacked quite high. These bags are probably stacked about 20 feet high, 20 high, which probably is about 7 or 8 feet. And you look at the top, and none have been taken from the top. None of the stacks look like
I'd
they've
look down.
fallen
'cause
over.
It's probably a kid.
Hmm?
If it's probably a kid, I look down.
You look down, and there's a lot of flour on the floor. And as you go down and look at the stacks, as you get to the bottom, probably about 3 or 4, the bags that are all stacked up, one looks substantially thinner. And you bring your hand down and you look through the Hessian sack, and it's like it's been cut along the side. The flour's poured out and the sack is decompressed.
They've just grabbed a bucket or something and filled it up.
It looks like rather than take a sack of flour, which, why wouldn't they take a sack of flour? You probably deduce maybe either it's too much for them to carry or it's too heavy for them. And they bought something, as you said, maybe a bucket, something similar, and they've just filled it up with what they needed.
I relay that to the group rather than repeating myself.
So somebody has literally broken in with a crowbar, had enough strength to do that, but not enough strength to carry a bag of flour, and has just come in to take what they need.
Unless they're particularly small and a bag of flour just is cumbersome. Like if it was a gnome, carrying a bag of flour was a lot harder than a human because of just the size differential.
They should have used a trolley.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
I think the lock's working now.
Knickknacks fixed the lock. Guess you have a spare.
So it's got added to turret now. So, like, have you got the key?
Yeah.
Don't be scared. It's not going to do anything. But put the key up, like, try and unlock it.
Takes the key, puts it in the padlock.
So in a sort of you see ED 209 from RoboCop. The threatening voice of, are you authorized to be here?
Kind of drops the padlock on the floor. What the hell was that?
It's just checking you're allowed to be there. It's all good.
Well, scare off any common thug, I suppose. Takes the key out, kind of claps it back down, pops it in his pocket. Well, thanks, I suppose. That means that I don't have to go down to the smith and get something new fashioned. Right, well, figure it out, let me know. If not, I need to get this mill back up and running. Grain's coming in from the fields, and well, we're running out of space, so we need to crack on. Anything else you need from me? Well, I'll be here. See you later. And he cracks on and he starts getting bags of grain, and you see him wander out and shout to a load of people that are probably on a break and see some more bodies come in. They start getting bags of grain down, start pouring them into the mill, and they you see some guys grab the big pole and start moving around, pushing the pole as the stone wheels start to grind the flour in the beds in the middle, and then you start to hear the turning of the sails up above, and the mill is back to work.
I have an idea.
Yeah.
But it requires a couple steps. If a load of people who are the guard show up to the kids, they're probably not going to say anything.
Mm-hmm.
So
What
we need
is
somebody
your plan?
to chat with them, but not as the guard.
They don't know me and Nick Nack as guards.
We were there with our cloaks on when we went to clean it up.
Nick Nack hasn't put his cloak on.
I had put my cloak on.
The issue with me, Knick-Knack, is the fact that I'm a little scared you might terrify them.
He has the dog.
The dog is adorable, but
Kids
Knick-Knack
love
is terrifying.
dog.
That they do, indeed.
Is there a place that's like an outhouse or something?
Do you want to surveil them?
My plan is to do something similar. Is there Luke, is there a place nearby that's like an outhouse?
Uh,
Just a place where I can go up to be on my own for a little bit.
oh, I thought you meant like an outhouse is in like a toilet.
Yes, but an obvious
Yeah.
place where I can get into and be on my own for a bit away from prying eyes.
Yeah, sure. Like there'll be an outhouse here at the mill. The workers need somewhere to go. I mean, it might not be the nicest place, but
Go in there and I take off the guard cloak and the outside jacket and leave just the shirt on. And I take out, and when I walk in, and out comes like a late, an early pubescent lanky kid.
okay.
Who's like, you know, when they've hit the growth spurt and it hasn't quite hit them right, and they're just all knees and elbows.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he like packs away like a chest and puts it in his bag and goes, I thought it'd be better if a young'un met them. Not a guard. Same old man voice coming out of his mouth.
Yes. Yes. But take the dog and the goblin.
The dog might work.
So what are we doing, folks? We're going to look for the kids.
Look for the kids, but not as a guard. As like, my cover story is my dad joined the guard, and I'm just like new in town.
Army brat.
Okay.
Yeah, army brat.
As we're looking for the kids, can somebody roll me a D8, please?
Oh,
What we are doing, Luck?
5 for the D8.
5.
I've known the kids, yes. So would I know where they would live or where they would hang out most of the time?
Yes, you would know. You'd have a rough idea. Most of the time, it's around the market square. Most of people's gatherings is around the market square. While you're on your way, you walk back from the outskirts. You walk through one of the residential areas, and you hear some shouting between two houses. It seems there's a bit of a neighbourly dispute going on. Do you intervene? Or do you carry on walking?
I kind of can't right now.
Yeah, I say,
Luck,
Not a policeman.
me you look at this noise.
Mhm.
Maybe? Nick Nack Gus? You find kids? Idea? No.
How many times do I have to tell you at that time of night it is not suitable? Keep it down.
Oh dear. Noise complaint again. It should be fixed very fast. You two can go along and search for the kid.
Problem then.
No.
Hello.
As you approach, Luck, you realise really quickly that you recognise this home. It is the home of Alaire.
Oh dear.
And Alaire's neighbour. No, it isn't Alaire. Sorry, it isn't Alaire. It's Mara. Sorry, wrong. Mara of the guard. It's her home.
She was one of the lieutenants.
One of the sergeants, yes.
Sergeant, sorry, yes.
So Mara tends to do. Where's my sheet gone? Sorry, I've got one list. So Mara tends to be doing a lot of evening shifts. She does a lot of looking after the market square and keeping an eye on places of commerce at night when they're all locked up and everybody's gone home. So she tends to do a lot more night shifts than she does day shifts. She is not here right now, as you can see, but her husband is. Her husband is out front. Seems to be having a dispute with a middle-aged, half-elven lady who appears to be their neighbour. But I don't know how many times I need to tell you. I don't know what we're talking about. Look, I know that I don't know what it is you are up to in the middle of the night. What you need to stop. It is so loud. The banging and the thudding. It just needs to stop. I have young children. I need to sleep.
Is she
Look.
elf? Is
Hello
she-
to you two.
Oh, Luck. Hi. What are you doing here? Mara's not in. She's back at the barracks.
I'm
She
aware.
sleeps at the bunks in the morning and then comes home.
I'm aware. She like shows the cloak like I got myself enrolled because of the recent activities. Just couldn't let pass what happened. I wanted to keep everyone safe for once.
Well, Mara's always been part of it, but
Why are you loud?
nothing. Honestly, it's nothing. Nothing's going on.
What's the husband's name?
The husband's name is.
I don't know why I have the name Martin on my tongue.
It is an M. I'm trying to find it. Bear with me. Medri.
Nedry.
Nedry or Medri?
Medri.
Medri. Okay. Medri. Is there something you want to tell me that you don't specifically want to know? People do want to know.
Well,
To the side. Come on.
I will talk to lady and make sure happy. Luck, you speak
yeah.
red.
Well, if you can just make sure that he stops whatever he is that he is doing.
I reach my hand up and I take her hand, and I.
What are you?
Come.
Let go of me, ghastly creature! Where are you? You lead her off. And
I just take her back into her own home, like it's my home.
Come.
And I will just lead her in. I will pull out a chair. I will sit her down, and I will find like a kettle and start like. I will like hop up on all the surfaces, like scrabble up my little back feet, and I will start like boiling a kettle and making tea.
Wonderful. in the meantime, Medri
No.
kind of looks at you and he kind of lowers his voice and he's just like, well, me and Mara,
You've been having fun activities?
no. Mara's at work at night. She's never here. Barely see her in the afternoon. That's after she slept all during the morning, and then she gets up in the afternoon and she gets ready to go to work again. She's always at work, but I understand times right now we have to be vigilant and everybody needs to pull together. I get that. But it's our 5-year anniversary soon, and she's always wanted this big, like, fancy dressing table, the mirror and everything to get ready. So I'm not the best carpenter, but I've been trying to put one together. But I have to do it when she's not in the house, and that's at night. So when I'm getting the hammer and nails out and slamming things together, it's taken me a few attempts, and I might have lost my temper and lost a few parts now and again. But yeah, so that's what's going on.
You're being sweet. I did arrive around the time that you two were getting married, that's true. Well, look, we have a new recruit that seems to be very crafty with their hand. Do you want me to send them to you?
Absolutely. I've got so many splinters. He just shows his hands and it's like they're covered in blisters where he's been too tightly.
Yeah,
like there's
state
bruises
that
under the nails where he's obviously kept hitting his fingernails every time he's been trying to do hammers.
Oh, and it's gone black, like
it's
where
gone
he's
black,
hit the back of a nail.
Just
Oh.
whatever he's doing to try and build this vanity dresser cupboard thing, it's not working.
the state of your hands. Do you put goes on those? If you don't treat them, they're going to be very ugly. You know that.
Well, she hasn't noticed because she's never here, but yeah, I suppose you're right.
I'm going to ask Nick Nack to come to see your table.
Nick Nack.
Nick Nack, yes. I'm aware the name is very...
Next you're going to say you're going to be recruiting somebody called Paddywork. God, you do find some weird people, don't you?
Look, this little guy that took the old lady is called Nezum. I have Nezum, Nick Nack, and Cass in my team currently that I am babysitting. I have 2 goblins on my team. Well, something that looks like a goblin.
This town do without you, Luck. Honestly, since you've been here, well, everything was going all right until the internet, but...
I try my best, really.
Anyway, Nick Nack, was it?
Yeah, small goblin.
Is Nick Nack here? Sorry.
I thought I was going to look for kids with Cass.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't realise we'd decided to split up. That's all right. Not a problem. Okay, so it's not long after this conversation you hear from next door going, oh, well, well, don't worry about that. I appreciate your stopping by, and thank you once again for the tea. I really appreciate your time. You're such a good conversationalist. You're such a good listener. Thank you, Nazum. Thank you.
Come, call me Barracks. Come anytime. You may call me Nazum.
And you kind of see coming out the front door, you see Nazum like holding the hand of this half-elven Karen lady, walk out to the front, and she kind of like she stood there a little bit more calmed down, and whatever Nazum has been discussing with her and whatever he may have put in her tea has certainly done the trick.
I see that there's like a biscuit crumb on the front of her pinafore, and I just...
Oh, well, you're more than welcome anytime. And yes, so...
We will sort noise. Promise.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And she kind of cuts a look over at Medry. We'll go back to Cass and Knick-Knack. So as you two carry on, you approach the edge of the market square. There are rows and rows of carts and stalls that have been put up. There are banners and flags everywhere. There's bunting. There are lanterns that are being hooked up that haven't been lit yet, but you see a lot of the same Silverfern crests that you saw over at the council hall in its silver thread and refinery. And you can only imagine at night that all this thread, all aglow, and all this bunting is going to look absolutely fantastic. There's a lot of hustle and bustle going on, and you see Thomas. Just doing the rounds, just doing the patrol around the market square. He recognizes Knick-Knack. Are you still wearing your cloak?
Knick-Knack's not wearing the cloak.
Knick-Knack's not wearing a cloak.
It's currently wrapped around the dog.
It's in a bundle on the back of the dog.
So Thomas kind of spots you as he's doing his like daily patrol around, and he comes over to Knick-Knack, and he's because he doesn't really recognize Cass in this childlike form, but he notices Knick-Knack standing there with this child. He comes over to Knick-Knack, and he's just like, recruit Knick-Knack, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm Knick-Knack.
Yeah, but why are you not in your gear?
It didn't fit.
Why am I not surprised? 1 second. Oreo, quit it!
I could just imagine there's a new recruit called Oreo.
Yeah.
That's canon. I don't care. That's canon.
We're looking.
There is a small tabaxi, like in the distance.
That just goes.
Just scratching one of the banners, just like put it out. Anyway.
Congratulations, your cat.
Yeah, no, that tracks. Really, we don't do. Did they not give you one of the gnome sizes, or was that even too big?
It's too big, and it's too good. It's like it's really nice. So you got to wear it for special occasions. It's not like for everyday stuff.
I mean, that's exactly what it's for. It's what we wear every day. Anyway,
any kids with like white hands?
White hands.
They were painting stuff with flour, probably.
Oh, you're talking about the vandalism back at the council, right, aren't you? Still trying to track them down? Well, I think that's a lost cause. Well, whoever did that, you're going to have to check every hand of every person in this town to find them. If I was them, I'd have washed them by now.
The blank look of sort of incomprehension.
Look, if it was me, focus your efforts on more important matters. Look after the people with things that you can fix. Stop chasing vandals that
and
not
thieves
catch
and like sort of food wasters.
Food wasters.
They probably stole the flour from the windmill.
Oh, they used flour.
And broke the lock, and there were all sorts of stuff.
Oh gosh.
Cut open bags, it's a complete waste.
Well,
is the market actually open?
You see the odd stall, the odd like the vegetable stalls, the fruit, the daily commerce is going on, but you see a lot of stalls that are being prepped for things like games and stuff that you wouldn't usually see at your daily stalls. So we're talking like your night markets where you get all your ornaments and your fancies and things that like are celebrating like the end of the summer. There's all sorts of
What?
bits and pieces that are being put together, but you do have your daily stalls that are still there.
Just sort of looking at like the fruit and veg stalls, you know, in most stalls like that, there will be something that will have fallen off and someone will have trodden on, and it's kind of like, yeah, left there.
Yeah.
Knick-knack will go up to that, whatever it happens to be, the mushy pasting, and sort of scoop it up. See, like wasting food. Good food.
You scoop up what is essentially like a squash.
Tomato or something,
Like,
yeah.
That's been crushed and like it's spilling out like on the floor, and it's all very wet, and you just mulch in your hand. Look, all I can say is your efforts would be better focused. Where even you're meant to be with Luck, aren't you?
They went to see the noisy people.
As you're talking, you see his gaze kind of goes past you, and he's just like, and he like the conversation to him then just becomes completely pointless. And he shouts, and you just see him shouting over past your shoulder. Trina, Darl, Bunty, what have I told you? Keep your hands off of old Gedry's plums. And he just walks past you and walks off towards a store, and you see a few of the kids turn around and just like, oh shit, quick, he's coming. And then they turn tail and they run through the crowds in the market.
As they run, I try and trip Thomas.
You try and trip Thomas. Okay.
Don't forget, Cass isn't here right now. I'm supposed to be little shit.
Yeah, so we'll have to call this like a shove attack, I'm guessing.
I was wondering sneak
because
attack.
you don't do trip attack because you're not like a battle master fighter or anything like that.
I was just thinking hide amongst like the people at the stalls and then just stick my leg out as he runs past.
Okay. There's going to have to be some kind of check involved here to do such a thing. So we're going to do.
I'm just wondering if I can make it better with sneak attacky stuff.
What is your strength?
8. I'm not a strong person.
Okay. What is your dexterity?
16.
16. So that's a +3. And what's your proficiency bonus at the moment at level 3? 2.
I don't know.
So that is a DC of, we're going to call it a DC of 13 based on your dexterity plus proficiency. +8, we're going to do a dexterity saving throw on Thomas's behalf to see whether he trips or not on a DC of 13. Okay?
Okay.
Now he's got a +2 to his dexterity.
I'm wondering if I could roll sneak beforehand and make it harder for him.
Yeah, stealth.
I will say he will do it at disadvantage because
he's
not expecting this. He's just expecting to just walk past you and walk past Knick-Knack and not realise you're there tripping him up. So the first one was a natural 18, which would be a dirty 20. Ooh. It's at disadvantage, so. And that is a natural 9. So that is +2, that's 11, DC of 13. So he stacks it. So yeah, you trip him up. And he kind of gets caught in his cloak, and he kind of just hits the ground.
I just step on the cloak.
Realize at first, like, what's happened. He's just stacked it and hit the ground, and he's just like, oh, sake. And he kind of try, like, you know, when you get your arms, he's got his arm caught in his cloak, and he's trying to pull himself up, but he's pulling himself up against himself, and he's just like, oh, and he struggles to his feet, and he looks up, and his eyes are darting around looking for the kids, but he can't see them.
Run.
They've darted amongst the crowd, and he can't see them. And he's just.
I try and follow the kids. I try and go where the kids are running.
Okay, so after you've tripped him up, you're
Yeah,
looking to see where the
I'm
kids are
trying
going.
to get on their
Make
good
me a
side.
perception check while you run off
I'm trying to get on their good side by helping them escape the guard.
I think
You're
this
trying to get in with their gang.
noticed by them.
Yeah.
That's the case.
Can I do something slightly different? I would like to pull my crystal cat out of my pocket.
Yeah.
And I would like to tell Lynx to fly up and keep an eye on them. They went that way. And send off this little flying crystal cat.
Okay, so we've got a UAV going up, looking out for the kids, and then we've got Cass in pursuit. So perception check from Cass, please. And does your homunculi use your perception, or do they have?
No, it has its own stats.
Okay, can I have a perception roll from?
It's better than I am, which is a good thing.
All right, I don't think it's going to matter from seeing what Cass has just rolled. Although still pretty good.
18 from 18.
18 and 21. Okay, the three kids, from what you both see, you've got two different views of it. You see, Cass, as they run into the crowds, you see Trina run off to the left. You see Bunty kind of run straight forward and then immediately dip right and kind of duck behind the immediate next but one stall, expecting whoever's chasing to run past her. And then you've got Durl. Now, Durl just goes straight ahead and he runs through into the crowd. So you've got one that's darted off to the left, one that's just stopped and hidden right, and one that's running straight on further on. Your homunculi, Knick-Knack, sees the same thing, but you see it from an aerial view. So you see the split and you can see them running, and the two that are running off in the direction, you can see them, but we'll need continual checks to be able to keep track while they're in the crowds. Cass, what are you doing? You're in pursuit. Who are you going after? Are you going to stop and go to Bunty, or are you going to be in pursuit of Trina, or are you going to be in pursuit of Durl? Trina is the short halfling girl. Bunty is the taller prepubescent girl, and then you've got Durl, who is the more portly looking young man who's running off ahead.
I run after Dull in an attempt to help him get away, because he seems to be the least competent.
Okay, so you're going after Durl. Okay, so
in order to help.
Right.
But yes.
So Durl has probably got a run speed of, let's say, 15 to 20. What's your run speed?
30, but I can do the bonus action dash thing.
Okay, you could quite easily catch up with Durl.
I think max, if I just leg it, it's like 90 per every round.
Okay, cool. So you quite quickly catch up with Durl, and Durl's just like, no, what do you want? What do you want? No, leave me alone.
I just
leave me
shove
alone. I haven't
him
done anything.
into like a nearby alleyway.
What are you
go,
doing? Oh, what?
And just like throw my cloak over him. They're following you. You're the slowest.
Oh, okay. And you
I tripped the guard.
hear the grunting and the of Thomas in behind, like chasing and clunking through the streets, and he's like, out of the way, move, guard business coming through. I'm in pursuit. I am in pursuit. Move. God, get that. Look, yes, Mrs. Daltrey, I know, but please, out of the way. Thank you. And he moves forward and he's running around and he's looking around as we speak. He's not quite at the entrance to the alleyway as of yet, but he is coming in the same direction. Make me. Are you attempting to hide, or are you just going to stand in front of him?
I'm attempting to help hide him.
So, are you attempting
more than anything else? Yeah, but I'm like helping him too because he seems shit at this.
Because at the moment you're assuming that he doesn't know you tripped him up.
Okay. My plan is to help him get away.
Okay. roll me. I'm going to roll a check.
I
At
have
advantage.
an idea. I tell him to get down.
Yeah.
And I throw like my coat over him so nobody can see him.
So essentially, he's going to roll a stealth check at advantage because you're assisting him. I'm then
I
going to
look like Cass again.
You look like you're going to change back to Cass in this alleyway.
Yes. And I tell him to go the opposite direction.
Okay, cool.
He's like, he went that way.
So okay. So 1 second, I've got to make this check for Dell first.
Does that make sense? I
yes, that
hide
makes
the
perfect
kid,
sense.
make
really
myself look like the guard, and
really
go
cool.
that way.
I really like that. So it's just like, get down, cloak, turn into Cass, boom,
that way,
oh, that way. He runs off that way,
the cloak.
turn back into the kid, take the cloak off. You okay? Like, okay, so I'm going to roll stealth for Dell. Okay. And I'm going to roll me a deception.
Okay.
At advantage because you turn back into Cass.
Persuasion, did you say, or deception?
Deception. At advantage.
No problem. There you go. 28.
Okay, even if you rolled a natural 20, you couldn't beat that. So, Jesus Christ.
Natural 20 for a 28.
Yeah.
Talking is his thing.
I'm not even going to attempt to roll against that. Thomas, literally, like, you see him, like, making his way through, and he's just like, he looks back, he looks left, he looks right, he's looking to see where Dell's run. He can't see a distinct path that this child's run. Looks, sees you go that way, turns around, and then he takes a left, and he runs off to the left. Knick-knack.
Yes. So
how do you communicate with your homunculi?
That's the thing, I can't. So I basically have to watch. I've just literally been reading up about it. It's not like a familiar, I can't share sight. Okay. So I have this little flying crystal thing up above that has a flying speed of 30 that is tracking the kid. I am tracking that. So I am following along.
I am going to tell you what your homunculi can see.
The homunculi will probably follow the first one that branched off. So I think that was
the Trina. So this is the thing. So Cass has just pointed in the direction that Trina has run.
Okay.
A little bit further up. So Trina turned off left. Thomas ran further up and then was told by Cass to go that way. So he's moved further up, and they're currently running on a parallel. Thomas can run faster than Trina, and he's probably going to be running on a parallel. When he gets to the end of the row, if Trina keeps running, he's going to see Trina. That's what your homunculi is currently seeing.
Okay.
All right? Cass. Dale is under the cloak. What do you do?
Turn back into what I'm going to name Sam. The
Sam.
kid. The kid.
Yeah.
I'm picking a name for the little kid. Sam.
Okay, cool.
Sam the army brat.
Is he gone? Is he gone?
Yeah. I think he ended up running after Trina. Sorry.
Oh no, we can't let Trina get caught. She's all our mum will give her a right beating. She's been in a lot of trouble.
Shit. Okay. Catch Trina and
we need to do something.
I'm thinking. I thought I'd help you.
Who are you anyway? Why'd you
Sam,
help me?
nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Dale.
Nice to meet you, Dale. Help Trina. Help Trina. How tall are the buildings here?
Most of them are one-story buildings, apart from buildings like the barracks,
up
the church.
One of the closest ones.
Okay.
In order to get to where Trina is and take like a shortcut.
You would have to do a lot of jumping from rooftop to rooftop to do that.
I'm proficient in acrobatics.
Okay.
So I'm hoping for the best.
So you're gonna. So
I'm hoping
essentially,
to
like,
catch up and get Trina.
okay, like cool.
You're
I'm gonna
stay.
go and paper.
I'm gonna
All
go
right,
help Trina.
fine, but make
And then he
me
just like
2
weirdly good,
acrobatics
just
checks.
jumps.
I want an acrobatics check to get onto the rooftops, and then I want an
worries.
acrobatics check for pursuit.
$21 to get up the rooftops and 17 in pursuit.
Okay, cool. Both of those will quite easily do. You are running along the rooftops of essentially like these small like store buildings on the side of the. So you've got the small like
panicking
store
now.
buildings, like you see it like Christmas Winter Wonderland fairs, where they open
Yeah.
up the shutters at the front and then there's like a counter.
Mhm.
There's a lot of them, and then there's even stalls in front of them. So you're running across the top of them currently at the moment. You like there's people like darting up that. Oh, what? What's it? What's with it? Oi, get down, young man! That is no place to run. Like you get the odd person that sees it, but most people are just getting on with the day. There's a lot to do. There's a lot of celebrations to prepare for.
I plan on throwing this face away. Don't worry about it.
You're running from rooftop to rooftop to rooftop. Luck, Nazoon. Would you have continued on to the market square after dealing with Medri? Yeah?
Yeah, trying to catch up on the others, and apparently
Okay,
we're
so
coming back to chaos.
All right, so you make
Not
it back
chaos, a
to-
gang initiation. Shush.
You make it back to the market square. The market square is quite a big area, so where you've come, when you finally got there, this has already taken place. Thomas has already run off down the corner. He's gone off down a different part of it. He's running in pursuit. And can you make me make me some perception checks and as a little look.
Oh boy.
Knick-knack, where would you be?
18.
18. Okay.
So I'm gonna be following after Lynx, but I'm kind of not looking for alleyways. I will sort of, crawl under stalls, squeeze down the side where they sort of have the stock. I will take the as direct a route as I can to try and keep my little crystal blind cat in sight.
Okay, so you're kind of pursuing that way on a different direction.
Yeah,
So
I'll be coming
jumping from rooftop to rooftop,
and I'll be coming in sort of baby zigzaggy
from
diagonal.
the other side. So it's like you're all converging onto them from each side.
Yeah.
Okay. Luck, you see in the sky a crystalline object flying around just over on the west side of the market square. And as you pan your vision back down, you see on top of the north side stalls a young boy running across the rooftops. There's unfortunately
wearing what looks like one of those guard cloaks. Because I shoved it on to fool Thomas.
I think probably what happens with Nazum is he walks into the square, looks around, and then promptly falls over one of that old guy's plums, and then just gets completely distracted by trying to help the old guy like pick up his plums and put them back on the store.
So you're helping this gentleman picking up his fruit
Yeah.
that the kids have been mucking about with.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, Luck is looking at this and like,
One plum. Two plum.
Three.
I suppose you just see Cass, but shorter. Because I didn't change outfits, I just made myself look younger.
Luck, are you doing anything?
well,
Will you help with these plums?
give me.
Zoom is helping an older gentleman pick up his plums, Mr. Gedry.
Yeah. How far away are you, Cass?
Pegging it as
I
fast as possible.
specifically said plums for a reason.
How far
Pegging
away
it as
are
fast
you?
as possible.
Cass is probably adjacent about
Oh
50 feet
man,
away at
this
this
plum
point.
is bruised.
Sorry, Luke.
Probably rub it better. About 50 feet adjacent away.
How many? How much?
50 feet on a diagonal adjacent.
50 or 15?
50, 50.
I'm running.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Nazim,
Pete, stop it!
These are good plums.
if somebody asks you,
Yeah.
you don't know anyone of the name of Cass?
No.
No. You don't.
No.
Cass is a terrible person.
Right.
It's obvious.
Where is Knick-Knack? At least I know I can count on this one.
Are you chasing them?
I am looking
Trying
for
to find
Knick-Knack,
Knick-Knack.
where he is, whatever
Okay.
he is.
You haven't spotted Knick-Knack, but you have spotted the homunculi. So if you followed in the direction of the homunculi, you might find Knick-Knack.
Okay.
Okay, so you're in pursuit of the homunculi. Cass is in pursuit of Thomas and Trina. Nazum is helping pick up some plums. Knick-Knack is in pursuit of his homunculi as well. Right, so we get to the end of the row. Trina runs out of her row first, and she's going to double back. Thomas comes out, and he immediately clocks Trina, running back down towards where Knick-Knack and Cass first encountered Thomas. Cass. Thomas is about to essentially put hands on Trina, like grab her by the shoulder, grab her arm.
My plan was to drop a rope down so Trina could get on the top of the building with us. But I think that might be different now.
You can try. What would you want to do? Do you want to go for that?
Thinking. I drop it. Can I do something strange as he's running up?
Yeah.
I have a flask of lantern oil.
No, oh God.
Hey.
Not fire. I want to make him slip.
Right. So what are you going to do? You're going to throw
Just
this
drop
vat
it.
of lantern oil and then attempt to make him slip as he goes for Trina. Okay.
I want to slow him down.
All right. So make me an attack roll for throwing it, and then I will make a dexterity saving throw against that DC of 13.
I'm trying to find it.
Well, what is the DC for grease? Isn't there a set DC?
No, it's based on whoever casts it.
Yeah.
Casting.
Based on whoever casts it. Okay, so we'll just go off of that. Well, I won't do a fixed DC for it. We'll just go off of your DC at 13.
What does it? Cass, have you got a spellcast modifier? Oh no, because it's not a spell.
He's not spellcaster, so we're going to go off of his marshal DC.
Prowess. However hard he lobs it.
Because for some reason, however hard, the more hard he lobs it, the more slippy it is. Because that makes sense. But that's what we're going to do.
It's more
So
difficult
just roll
to
to
dodge
attack.
the speed. Ranged attack, I think.
Ranged attack, which is
Ranged
dex.
attack. Yeah. So we're with your dexterity. Fine.
Dexterity plus proficiency. No. Am I proficient in throwing oil at people? I don't know. This is a new guy.
You're not proficient in your unarmed. It would be like an unarmed or improvised.
Weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to roll straight dex. Yeah, straight dex.
Yeah.
No.
11.
11. Okay. Right.
I'm not attempting to hit him. I'm attempting to make a big punch.
Yes, you're attempting to hit by him, not him. His AC is 12. The ground, yeah, the ground is an inanimate object. You're going to hit it. That's fine. It was just to see whether you rolled really poorly and actually
Hit him.
ended up hitting him or somebody else. So you hit the ground. Oil goes everywhere. 13. So he just needs it. So I rolled an 11 plus 2, 13. So there is oil everywhere. He is still standing. He hasn't hit the deck yet. Trina isn't in the oil, but it has slowed him down.
My plan is now to throw the rope over.
Yeah.
If you don't have anything else.
But what I'm gonna go quickly back to Knick-Knack because actions. It's not initiative, it's a bit loose. Because it's a lot to do in a short period of time. So you've done that. Knick-Knack is what
My apologies if I'm taking up too much time.
Not at all, not at all. Don't apologise. It's fine.
I want to infiltrate the gang and then find out what the heck is going on.
Yeah. Knick-Knack.
Yes.
What we do?
Well, Sam's
so I'm trying to close. So I'm assuming that Lynx is now almost sort of stationary, hovering.
Yes, pretty much.
So I'm sort of heading to that point.
Okay, so you come out of a row and you can see down this column of all these stores. You can see Cass standing on a roof. You can see partially Trina. And you can see Thomas. That's just come up like he's run out the end of this row and he's slid across the slick paving and he's come to a stop. And then he looks up, he sees Trina. He's just looking up at this kid who's just thrown a fucking lantern of oil at him. And he's going to make an action. What are you going to do?
Good question.
Nine plums. 10 plums.
Well, I can't make anything blow up, which is sad.
I mean, you could, but you'd probably kill Thomas.
Yeah.
That's your idea of being good guards looking after the citizenry. That's completely up to you.
Is this how we get promoted?
I'm a rogue. I'm going to do rogue shit.
Isn't this how we get promoted? You know, kill off the stupidity.
No holes barred investigation.
Worked for the mayor. She's been promoted because the previous one's been killed off.
So I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna run off effectively to sort of catch up with them, with Pudgy, and I'm gonna say to Lynx, go find the other ones, and send them off to go and find the other ones.
Okay.
Because I can see this one, and they can go and find the other one.
Yeah. Well, Durl is hiding. So is Bunty. They're both hiding at this point. They're both just waiting.
Okay. I think Lynx has a passive perception of 14.
Well, Lynx would know that Durl is back in that alleyway.
Yeah, well,
and Lynx and Lynx knows where Bunty is as well. They're exactly where they stopped. They haven't moved from where that position was.
Yeah, so I'm going to send them to the other one, and I'm going to join the pursuit of the other, the one that's Trina that's running with Pudgy.
Thomas sees you, and he goes, "Knick-Knack." Help me get her. And he points at her, and then he's going to reach forward and try and grab her arm. He's going to use his athletics and rolls a 3. And she's going to use her acrobatics and rolls a 4.
Yes.
This is like the
So
most
literally-
pathetic squabble. Like,
He goes to grab her arm, but because she's still essentially a child, a lot more slender, and she just kind of slides through his grip and pulls back.
I'm just saying
That's
it is easy. He is
lowered
covered in
this
oil.
rope. Sorry?
I'm saying it is easier to slip out of his grip. He is covered in oil.
Well, he's not covered in oil yet. Not yet.
I'm not going to set him on fire. This isn't Ray.
He's on oil, not covered in it. She takes a step back, feels the rope hit behind her, and she grabs the rope. Are you going to pull her up, or is she going to have to climb up?
I just hold the rope and run because it's probably faster than trying to pull.
So she gets pulled up as you turn around and you run back the other way. Luck, what are you doing watching all of this unfold?
It's chaos. Let me join a gang. You get my idea. It's chaos, but you know.
He's having a massive headache right now. But what I'm going to do...
These new recruits that you've been put in charge of that are...
Hey, as far as you know, Cass has just catched a
helping
kid.
people.
You told me to help people. You never specified which kind.
15
I'm helping the
plums.
criminals.
Oh
I was
my
about
God.
to say, Nazim, are you still picking up plums?
Jeez. At
Can I
this
just
point,
say,
yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Slayer, but I've been laughing so much in this particular session, I've gave myself a headache.
I'm having a headache dealing with all of you.
Look, if it works, I get to be in a gang and you have a man on the inside. This is a good idea.
Eh,
They're even responsible.
yeah.
I never said I was responsible.
No,
Come
if
now.
they are even
Anyway,
responsible.
like seeing the
Eh.
kid escaping, she's just going to look at the whole thing and just grab Nick Knight and like, I think we're over here. Could you perhaps accompany me somewhere else in the city? Someone requires your skills.
I'm helping you. Help me build a cabinet. I give up.
And she's going to cast presentation and instantly clean our dear guard friend.
All the
Thomas.
Our dear guard, I think she said.
Yeah.
Thomas.
Thomas, yes.
Thomas is kind of there, like, I will get her one day.
Are you okay,
And he
Thomas?
says it in the kind of tone that this has happened multiple times before.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm fine. Thank you for your assist. Where are the new charges?
Nick Knight is here. Nazim is helping the plum merchant.
Oh, well, that was good of him.
Yes, is picking them up. However, the speed that he's going to do it is debatable.
Well, at least he's helping someone.
Yeah. Do you know
I'm
where
helping
my
someone.
last little duckling is?
No idea. Haven't seen him all day. Anyway, I'm going to continue my patrol.
Hang on, I was helping you catch them. That's as far as he knows.
He didn't see you. He saw the kid running across the road.
No, he did because he pointed him.
No,
in the
because I
other
went that
direction.
way.
Oh, well, was that back at? I thought. Did you turn back into Cass doing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so he
yeah.
saw a guard man tell him
Oh, I
which
thought
way
he
it
was saying he thought saw somebody else doing it. Okay, no,
No.
Cass.
No,
Oh,
I was
yes,
like,
you,
I'm a guard now. That way.
Cass was
You're
helping.
going to trust another guard.
So he says that Cass was helping in the pursuit. That's right. Wonderful. Okay, right.
As far as he knows, Cass is helping.
You take Knick-Knack back to Medri, and Medri help fix his cabinet.
And Nazum comes along.
Yeah.
Well, like you collected him. I'm assuming that Mr. Gedry has gifted like me a plum or two.
Yes.
At this point, from picking them up.
Yes, he lets you keep the bruised ones.
Yeah. I will cast Mage Hand. And carry the plums, like, you know, like how when magicians do the thing where they have like a thing in between each finger. I'll make the Mage Hand do that, and then make the Mage Hand fly above my head. So I've got this arc of plums.
This draws a bit of attention because magic is not common here, and they just see this rat essentially walking around with these floating plums above it.
Levitating arc of plums. And then that's just such a strange sentence I just said.
Levitating arc of plums.
A rat with levitating plums.
when Knick-Knack starts,
I say, Knick-Knack, I can make you super quiet when you do your magic, when you make the mending, if you mend for them.
So what am I supposed to be building?
So so we won't role play that bit. We'll skip through that bit. So you go by and you help assist make the vanity cupboard, desk cabinet mirror-esque thing that
It's one of the few tools that I'm not proficient in.
That Medri is. You can do a much better job than Medri has done with putting this thing together. You're familiar enough with flat pack furniture that you're able to build a. You point out that he's been looking at the instructions upside down the entire time, as well as looking at the dwarven instructions rather than the common instructions. So yeah, you've simplified it a lot more for him.
I deliver a couple of plums next door.
Oh yes, you pop by your half-elden mother, who certainly appreciates the gift of plums and asks you to come in for another cup of tea, Nesm.
I join her and I definitely have the finger
out. So the day, we're probably halfway through the day at this point. It's getting to 10 to 11. We're at 10 to 11 now, guys. How are we feeling?
I'm okay.
Good.
We're okay? Are we all right? Do you want to have a quick break, grab some drinks and everything?
Yeah, coffee
before
and
we
stuff would be good.
Carry on?
Yeah.
A little bit longer?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'm going to grab a drink and then I'll be right back and we will carry on. We just want to pause the recording real quick.
Yeah, I'll do it. I got it. I got you.
So, after helping Trina, Dale, and Bunty abscond in the marketplace, after mishandling Mr. Gedry's plums, you have assisted in resecuring the mill after a robbery. You have helped clean down the council hall after some vandalism. You have settled a noise complaint and helped a citizen in need rebuild a present for their anniversary for a fellow guard. Not a bad day's work so far, but it doesn't stop there. There is still the mystery of who was the vandal. But there are plenty of jobs still to do. So can I have somebody roll me a D8? Who hasn't rolled so far? Pete, roll me a D8,
thing.
please.
Okay. Boop. Boop. 7.
7. Someone has broken into the mill overnight. We've already done that because you came across that one naturally. So bear with me.
I'll roll it again.
No, you don't need to.
Okay.
Because I'll just go off I've got 2 charts of 8. So we'll go off the second one. Public intoxication.
Mm.
A rowdy group of individuals is causing disturbances in the tavern district due to excessive drinking. The party is called upon to handle the situation and prevent further disruptions. So, some people have gotten a little bit merry a bit too soon before the celebrations have actually begun. It seems that a group of farmers who have finished their crop for the year and have dropped off their last of their grain down the mill have started at the tavern early and have had a little bit too much to drink and are getting a bit too rowdy and raucous for people this early on in the festivities before they've even started. You've been asked to handle this. We won't RP the whole thing. How would you like to approach this? How would you handle some rather rowdy drunks as a group?
Diplomacy in my case. Like, the people have known me for like 6 years now, so
Okay. So
I'm
you
trying
would
to bring
try
some
and talk to them.
sympathy.
Let's do a bit of a group check here.
Oh dear.
You're going to give me so all of you provide me a way that you would like to handle this. You will each roll, and then we'll do and based on the group check, we'll see how successful you are. So, you want to be diplomacy. You want to go and talk to them and just talk them down and try and calm them down a bit, and maybe go off inside. We'll give it a few hours and then come back.
Are they actually fighting? Or are they just causing?
They're not fighting. They're just being rather loud, vulgar, drunken, raucous, and it's probably about 6 o'clock in the evening. So
And is it in a specific area that they're doing it?
Probably outside the tavern on the edge of the market district. So people are still trying to do the finishing touches and get everything ready. And then you've got this group of probably about 6 or 7 men that are just shouting and being raucous and vulgar and probably like calling over at the people that are doing the last bits, going, "Oh, I wouldn't do it like that." They're all just trying to they're general men that think they're being funny when actually they're just being twats, kind of thing.
I just say rude and cast silence.
So you're going to use magic.
I just say rude and cast silence.
Okay. Cass, what are you going to do?
What I was going to do no longer works.
No,
I can't go over there and talk to them.
You all tell me individually how you would like to handle it.
Like, and
My plan was
you decide the order that happens.
My plan was to go up there and try and talk them down and do the whole "you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here" conversation as a policeman. But as I walk up, I go,
"No, I don't. That was just what I would do." But if they carry on,
I think it's funny though to just be like, "You don't have to go home."
He just
Matt, how would you handle this particular?
So I would use cooking tools. So I'm going to open the little side panel on Pudgy to get access to the heater core, which may or may not also function as a grill. And I'm going to start trying to make some sort of appetizing bacon butty type thing. Bearing in mind I don't have any bacon and bread is probably stale. So it's going to be toasted and I'm going to try and make some sort of something that might soak up some booze.
I pass you a plum.
Right, so Luck, make me a persuasion check. Cass, make me a persuasion check.
Yep.
Knick-knack, make me a cooking tools check.
26!
26, so 1 success.
16.
My action is held until the
1 success.
I'm kind of assuming, because I don't have proper ingredients, I'm going to roll at disadvantage. What are we saying for cooking? Wisdom, intelligence, dex?
I'd say Dex.
We used to do cooking decks checks.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so
used to-
same as
I
sleight of
used to
hand then.
roll survival, but that's
Well, it depends on how. Like, you tell me what you would use and why.
So yeah, it's sort of Knickknack's very used to sort of, you know, using what he can find. So he still has that squished tomato from back in this morning.
Okay.
And things like that. So, and it will be stale bread. So he's going to basically make sort of toast the bread. So little panel opens up on the side of Pudgy with the heating element that powers him. And I'm going to sort of use that as a grill. And I'm going to basically make them somewhat appetizing snack in the hope of sort of opening up some booze.
Okay, cool. Right. So roll me whatever you're going to roll for this.
I got a 26 and a 14.
Okay. So you're imposing disadvantage on yourself.
I was taking disadvantage because if I had a big slab of bacon, then I would have been quite happy to just do a straight
we'll
roll.
go with the 14. So
Yeah. I was assuming the
would be a
disadvantage.
fail. So we've got 2 successes and 1 fail, which means it would come down to Nazum, who's decided to cast silence.
the rat says quiet.
So the food has failed. The diplomacy on both sides has succeeded. And the Nazum's kind of just gone, fuck a skill check. I'm just going to cast silence. So how does this pan out?
It's up to you, DM.
You're chatting to them. You talk them down to a level, like you sit down, you're talking to them like, guys, look, I know you've had a nice evening. I know it's been a hard summer and you just can't wait to let your hair down and just enjoy yourselves because you've had a lot
This
of work.
isn't a Witherspoons,
There's been a
please
lot
continue
more
on.
to pick than you've had to normally. See, like you've used your knowledge of the last 6 years of being here to identify with these people, to get on the same level and understand where they're coming from, but use that as an approachable way and means of being like, but
She
we
still
don't-
does. She still does give them a stern look.
Yes, exactly. It's like firm but fair kind of thing. And Cass is kind of there backing you up, like, really, guys, come on. Meanwhile,
Come
Nick
on now,
Mac,
have
I'm
some class.
handing out snacks of stale bread with plum juice on, and it's almost like canapes rather than like a full meal. And this conversation's going on, and they're there, and they're there drinking, and they're like nodding, like, oh yeah, I suppose, like, oh I know. Right. Well, we don't want to burn the wick at both ends and go out too early. We want to enjoy ourselves soon. And then they start eating, and then boom.
At this point, Luck is going to turn to Nez.
And they look at their drinks and like they think maybe they've had too much that they can no longer hear themselves. Remember, they don't get magic around here a lot. Luck's pretty much the most powerful magic person here, and they've been talking to her the entire time. So they're at this point now where they've eaten the drink. They probably think that they've had so much to drink they can no longer fucking hear.
My plan is to continue on like I can hear them.
Oh yeah, you just stood
nod
there
along.
and nodded, just like okay. Like you turn to Luck, and Luck kind of clocks it and goes along with it, and it's just like, oh yeah, and you two turn around and just nod and start talking to each other like you're having a conversation. Yeah. And they're there just like freaking out, like can't hear anything, like what's going on?
Yeah, she's looking at him like she's glaring at one point.
And
like...
they kind of get up and they disperse. Right. Well done.
I think I did quite well with that. Just keep talking like you can hear them. Make their brains
strange
work.
Magical means of diplomacy and like evening canapes. You have dispersed the drunken rabble. Can somebody roll me a d8, please?
I think it's Matt's turn, isn't it?
Can do.
Canapé, solid canapé.
4. Noisy neighbour. We've already done that one. You encountered that one already because that was rolled along the way, wasn't it?
Yeah, flip the table.
So I'll do the other table.
Have you seen my new cup, guys? Guess
Nope.
what it's got on it?
Nice.
Mushies.
Right.
Very
So
exciting.
you get called to a house.
Mhm.
And you get there, and there's nobody home, and there's a little envelope on the front door, and you open the envelope up, and it says, "I'm at the shop. Come find me." Luck, you know this to be Doran's place.
Okay.
This is Doran's
Doris.
home. And he's left a note on the front door saying, "I'm at the shop. Come find me there."
Okay. Let's go to the shop.
So
I'm going
you
to guide everyone there.
Yeah. So you make your way to a pristinely represented store. Out the front, the signage is beautiful. And this big, long, almost like the underside of a canoe hanging from the front of the shop with a gorgeously calligraphied sign on the front saying Doran Silversmith on the front. And a gorgeous bay window lit with tiny little lanterns all around the front. There is silver thread hanging almost like tinsel in the window. And on silk sheets, on boxes and little plinths in the window, you see all these different ornaments, all these different baubles, pocket watches, which are wrapped around in silver thread and engraved ferns on them. You can see wedding rings. You can see all sorts of different array of jewelry and trinkets. You see snuff boxes. You see the pocket watches. You see anything that can be engraved, lined with silver, is made of silver. It is there, and it is absolutely pristine. It's gorgeous, the front of this place. How can anyone who's going shopping not turn and stop and look in this window? It is phenomenal.
I think before we enter the shop, Luck is going to turn around to all three of them. Look, if you take anything, you are paying. And I will know if something disappears. I don't care who takes it. You will pay, or I make everyone pay. Did I make
That's
myself
very-
clear? Did I
Sorry.
made myself
Yes,
clear?
I'll just. Oh,
Nazum
Don't take
knows.
Thank you, Nathan. Cass,
what have I done?
behave. I've seen
I
you.
didn't do anything.
I've seen
You
you
saw
on
a
the roof.
child. You saw a child. You saw a child. You didn't see him.
Well, to be fair, you did take a form that matches your spirit.
Oh,
What do you know about that? Genuinely, he's a
burn.
little scared. How the fuck do you know I can do that?
I didn't know. You just gave me the answer.
I'm rolling a deception to see if I can not pull that face.
Yeah.
I'm rolling the. I don't know what the fuck you're on about.
I don't know what I mean.
27.
Luck, do an insight.
How the
It's
fuck
fair.
did
It's
you-
fair
Liam knows.
points. He did all his transformation. Well, I mean, you did a transformation in the toilet and came out as a kid in front of everyone.
Yeah, and I put away a disguise kit
True.
because I have a disguise kit as the excuse.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Be fair. Even
19, natural 19 plus 8. That's going to be tough. I don't think you could beat that, can you?
No, because my maximum is actually 25.
Unless you get a natural 20. So
I mean, even with a natural 20,
Yeah,
I
ability.
wouldn't be beating the
yeah, but
DC.
his is dirty. His isn't a
Oh,
his is a 19
I
plus
mean, I
8.
can try, but
If you got if it was a 20 plus 8, yeah,
Yeah.
that definitely not. No. Okay. Yeah, you
I put away a disguise kit
you
to be like,
you
that's the
you
reason.
you have an inkling in your mind. You're like, is there something more to this, or is this guy just really good with makeup? Like, I swear he made himself look shorter. And you kind of look at Cass, just like, and try and detect if there's anything innately different about the way he conducts himself. But then you just like, and you look at him, and he just seems like this guy that there's probably more luck involved than there is skill, and you kind of just shrug your shoulders. And,
Totally. He's
no,
just a
definitely.
lucky moron, promise.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You at least that's the facade that Cass has portrayed with that really high deception check. So yes, you are unaware of his innate abilities at the moment.
oh no, I wasn't aware of his innate ability. It's just that
You don't know he's able to take on forms without aid of things like disguise.
Without
kits.
5 minutes spent on his own.
Yeah.
Mm.
You just think he's really good with makeup.
Yeah, so she
Um,
just
100%.
enters the shop.
Yeah,
Boris.
So you enter the shop. Look, you enter first with the rest of the rabble in tow. As you walk in, on the left-hand side, you hear customers, 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 and you see what looks like a white cockatiel with a yellow quiff, one wing normal, one wing that looks 4 times too small, and one great big bulging eye and one regular eye.
What is luck?
It's okay. It's just a welcoming crew.
You would know this to be Teely,
Yeah.
Doran's cockatiel,
Meet Tilly.
with a slightly disturbing.
You may call me Nazum.
Yes! Ooh!
Please don't make him speak.
Cass, and I hold out my hand to the little cockatiel. I go, Cass, and I hold out my hand to the little cockatiel.
You walk in.
Tilly, stop it.
Silence.
Boris!
Rude.
Doran.
Doran, sorry.
So you walk in, and there's glass cabinets everywhere. You've got those stations in the middle with the glass tops that you can look in with all the cushioned jewelry and all over the place. And you approach the counter, and on a back table bench, you see a hunched over dwarven fellow. And he's got a hand up, he's got a little monocle on, he's got some like small tinker's tools in one hand. He's got like 3 tools in one hand, and one finger's dealing with each of them. This is a master craftsman at work. Hold on. Hold on. One moment. One moment.
Can I have a look and see if I can work out what they're building?
He's working on jewelry,
Okay.
and he's just there like this, and he's tinkering away. He's just like, right, come on, my beauty. Yeah, that's it. You're so smooth. You're such a good girl. You're really, really. That's it, just like that. And bastard! You bastard! You little shitting bastard! You piece of fucking. And he just starts smashing the piece of jewelry that he's been working so
Thorin.
carefully on.
Thorin,
Oh god, I know that man.
Remember.
Can the
Really
cockatiel
do.
just start screaming, bastard, bastard, bastard?
Yes, she starts. You just start hearing this screeching of bastard, bastard in the back.
Thorin,
you want a
remember,
hand?
breathe in, breathe out. It's okay. In, out.
And he picks up what's left of like this silver thread, and he's got like this little Bunsen burner on the go with a little mini cauldron. And he just picks up the whole thing and drops it in.
It's immediately liquid.
Yeah.
I know that man. God lord.
Look,
Yes.
what are you doing here?
There was a note on your door?
Oh, they've sent you.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Meet my new ducklings.
Hello, I'm Nick Nack.
There's many things here, but none of us are birds.
You may call me Nazum.
That's Nazoom.
You're joking.
No.
Believe me, this is not a joke.
They are literally taking anyone these days, aren't they?
I didn't make the thing. I am just looking after them.
I
For
tell you what,
their-
the sooner Corbin gets back, the better things will be.
Look, tonight I'm going to take a drink with Valère because I'm going to need it. If you want to join, you are welcome.
Has anybody heard anything from Corbin, and will he be back anytime soon?
No, I haven't heard anything. That's the problem, which worries me.
Nothing.
Nothing.
That's unlike him.
Very much.
Is Corbin out? Is Corbin one of guards?
Corbin is the captain of the guard. He's
Right.
being sent to lead this little crusade after our criminal bastards that came in and killed poor Garrick.
Yeah.
Do
Well,
they
to be-
even know what happened?
They wouldn't tell me anything. You know how it is. I think things were confusing, and Valère is just.
They were trying to raid the grove. See, if you haven't caught on by now, my little friends, Silverfern is very popular for its silver ferns. It's what everything around here is. That's why they have somebody like me. We have such a rare quality of fern. You know, there's only one place where these ferns grow other than Silverfern itself. And that is Linares, blessed city of the moon goddess herself. Now, our town must be pretty special if these particular ferns get to grow somewhere outside of one of the celestial cities. Most people seem to think around here that we have been blessed by Solara herself, and that it is a slight against her sister to use one of her precious plants and supplant it here on
Solara or
Celestial.
Saloon? Sorry, I've forgotten.
Solara.
Solara
And Lunara are the goddesses.
Lunara is the moon, yeah?
So the ferns grow only on Lunaris and Silverfern.
Oh, so Lunara is the okay, yeah.
Lunaris.
Lunaris and Lunara.
Lunara is the goddess.
Yeah.
Lunaris is the city.
Yeah, cool. So it's a moon city. In the darkness. Okay, yeah.
Oh, didn't go downstairs. Stop screaming. Sorry. Thought I muted myself.
Obviously, our little plant is very carefully selected where we export such rare silver. The only other place you can get it is probably one of the most expensive places in the world. So, where can you get it without having to pay that price? Send some scum to come and steal it from us.
The silver comes from the plant.
Yes, the underleaf of the fern. When the moonlight glows down, it glows back. It's perfect in every single way. It's unflawed, like any metallurgical alloy. It's an organic metal. It's phenomenal. It's beautiful to work with.
I think back and I curse myself for not trying to harvest some earlier.
I have told the council many, many times, many moons, to put some people guarding storage. But did they listen to me on this? No, they did not.
Honestly, I am shocked that we've not had more interlopers since or before. The fact that this is the first time that has happened is beyond me. Either way, Solara did not bless us enough to protect her blessing.
If it grows on like the trees and stuff, don't you just get more from the trees and stuff?
Yes, it grows, but it takes a very long time to grow. Hence why we are very careful with how much we cultivate, which is why we must protect the grove, because if some dickheads roll in like they did a few days ago, try to steal a load of it, if they took the lot, it would take decades for that amount to go back.
Very pretty. It's very pretty. I like your work.
Oh, thank you. I do too.
Durham is the best I can find in town.
Not just in town, but some say the continent.
Oh no, don't flatter yourself too much.
Well, if I don't, nobody else does. My talents are unappreciated by those here in this little old Silverfern.
I appreciate your talent. I just do not buy from you because I have no use of jewelries, and you know that.
I think sometimes when you're exposed to something for so long, you forget the value of it. And I think that the town, if anything has come from this little crisis, it means that they now probably appreciate it a bit more than they did before. Either way, you're here on business, aren't you?
Your problem, yes.
Yes, well, I wasn't expecting you luck, but I'll take what I can get. That's not a slight on yourself. I just expected somebody a bit higher up the food chain. But I appreciate they're probably all off gallivanting after the bastards that stole them.
If you still want that drink with a lair, I suggest you watch your tongue.
Oh, I've known Alair a lot longer than you have. I've known Alistair much longer also. So if anybody wants a drink with the council later on, it's you that's got to remain in my good books, young lady. Right, to business. I was commissioned to do a little bit of work for Paul Garrick. His family decided that they wanted his ashes, well, they wanted his body burned and sent to the goddess on high in holy flames. His remains, the ashes, were to be kept in an urn. They commissioned me to provide them with an urn of his standing, calligraphied with only the finest fern silver. I completed the urn nigh on yesterday. It's been the only thing I've been doing for the last 2 days since his passing. It was only coming to the point where I now needed to engrave it. And, well, it's gone missing. No, nobody broke it. I don't know how. It must have happened during opening hours. But Someone came into the shop while I was here, helped themselves to it from behind my counter, and fucked off. Now, I could take another 2 days to work, but we've got the festivities to enjoy and a lot of alcohol to drink. I don't plan on working over the next 2 days, so I'd appreciate it a lot if you could find the original one to save me having to make another.
Right. Oh, the paid now this.
So many people taking so many things. So very not nice.
As I said, if Corbin was here, this wouldn't be happening. They should never have sent him. They could have sent the rest of them, but they should have kept Corbin here. Nobody would have moved a finger out of order with him here.
Is Corbin good person?
Well, that's up for debate, isn't it? Some would say firm but fair. Some would say complete and utter arsehole. But
he is an arsehole.
He always got results, and the city was always safer with him here.
We have results.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
What's the time? 6 hours on the job. What have you done?
I show him a plum.
Looks at luck, looks back at Nazoom.
Hmm?
And fine results they are too. You should be so very proud.
I puff my chest out.
Where was this earned?
On my back counter,
Can I go behind
where
it?
I'm working now. But I don't usually have people so brazenly walk in and help themselves. People tend to lose fingers when that happens. That reputation of mine usually carries itself. How somebody managed to come in, pinch it, and go out without me noticing, well, they must be very slick indeed.
I would like to go and have a prod and poke around where it was and see.
Also, Tilly calls at everybody that walks through that door. But I did not hear a murmur out of old Tilly.
Are there any other doors or windows?
Well, there's the big front window, but that's intact. And other than that, you've got the back door that leads onto the rear courtyard. But I was standing back there, and I don't reckon anybody passing me when I was back there. So somehow they came through the front door, past Tilly, walked round, picked up the yarn, backed off without anybody seeing it.
Was the front door locked?
No, got
Okay.
Tilly for that.
I'm not dismissing the brilliance of Tilly, but can Tilly be bribed?
You try.
Birds don't like me.
Now that should be fun.
I put a handful of grain in my hand and go towards Tilly.
Tilly reaches forward. Beak goes down to your hand. What's your AC?
Knew it!
14.
I knew it!
Natural 19. You take 1 piercing damage as a long arced
I'm fine with it.
cockatiel beak sinks its way into your finger.
Okay.
Cats, bastard, cats, bastard.
Everyone seems to think I'm a bastard. Now, is there anyone she likes?
Tastes funny.
Who's your favourite? And I look at the bird.
Bird kind of turns its head towards Doran.
Oh.
Okay. Is there anyone except you that she likes?
Don't be silly. Tilly's been
She's
with
a
me
bird.
since we got here.
She's a bird. Called. Birds are like that. They
Is
only
there
tend to like
any
one person.
traces of like white paint?
No,
Hmm.
don't use any paint in here. No need for paint.
Flower.
Or flour, yes, for that
No.
matter.
Not at all.
Sorry, somebody
Sheets are
robbed the
growing
mill. Somebody robbed the mill.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of that going around, isn't there?
Jack,
Suppose that's
Like,
putting
Jack,
you in work.
Jack, will you
Right.
just do something for me in your
Okay.
accent? Can you say, "There's trouble up mill"?
let's travel up mill.
Why? No.
I love it.
Trouble up, Mill.
I just
Right.
wanted to hear it in your accent. It was beautiful.
Now, is there anything else I can help you with, or are you going to get an old man get back to his work? Oh, fucker.
I'm DM. Can I have a look around where he's working and around the shop in general to see if I
Yeah,
can
sure.
see
It was really
any
weird
kind of
because when you said
traces?
DM, then I looked to Pete. I just naturally just looked to Pete.
Not today, buddy. Not
Yeah,
today.
I know it's going to take some getting used to.
You gotta do this
Look
shit.
around the store.
Perception?
Sorry,
Perception?
perception, investigation, whichever.
Can I do it because I was looking as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'll help you to have advantage.
Oh, for me.
Yeah.
You can either do individual checks or pick somebody to do it with advantage, whichever you prefer.
Go on.
So I'm rolling with advantage, yeah?
Mm.
27.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Yes.
That was a good advantage because the other one was not that high.
You look around the room, and there's a lot of this silk cloth everywhere draped over to create all sorts of different displays.
Layers.
Yeah, there's layers everywhere, and you look under all the cloth, like you're having a real good look around, and for the life of you, like you're going around, you can't see any way in other than through the front door or through the back door, which Doran insists is where he was. You make your way under the counter and you start having a look and a sift round, and you look on the floor, and as you step on the stone cobbles behind the counter, it feels a bit gritty beneath your feet. And then you look down at the floor and you put a finger, and there's more than just like the grind of metal there and dust and dirt, and when you do filings, there's more than that there. There's a white dust, there's flour.
I think our vandals have been here too.
Why would they want to earn? I know they really, really like their old mayor, but still.
Does it look like this is also the gentleman's residence? Like, does he live above? Has he got a?
No, we went to his house.
Oh,
Went to his house.
okay. Yeah, true. Sorry. Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
You also, while looking underneath the silks, one of the panels on the front displays is a little bit loose. It shouldn't be loose. It should be like a fixed panel as part of the decoration of.
Yeah, like the column as it comes up, kind of thing.
Yeah, but it's a bit bauble.
It's like a little podium. Does the podium is it fixed to the floor, or is these movable?
So it's like one of the big cabinets, and like you've got a cupboard, You've got pull-out drawers,
Okay.
got stuff on top, but then you've just got a fixed bit of paneling on
Mhm.
one bit where there's no cupboards or drawers, but the paneling's a little bit. You've noticed it's slightly just not straight, it's slightly like that
Mhm. No, I haven't. Nick
with that
has.
high deception. Not a deception, perception.
That was investigation, not perception. If that helps.
Investigation.
Because it was a bit a completely different role if it was
Well, it would have either way with that.
OCDness, I'm gonna have to like try and pop it off to straighten it up, put it back on, but I'll
Okay.
have a look.
As you pop it off, you take off the wooden panel, and right there behind it in the vacant space is the urn.
Doran,
Did it look like this one?
What? Walks around and he sees it and is just like, well, that didn't come up. What? Picks up the urn and he looks at and he gives it the once over and he's like, yep, that's it. That's it. And he looks inside and you can see what is left of like a wet, flowery substance in the urn.
Yeah, I was gonna have a look and see if it had like sort of gooey handprint type thing on it. Is this what they mixed up the paint with?
Doran, do you have any kids?
No.
Okay.
little one come often.
Why would someone take the urn, use it just to put flour and
Not
bring
as
it back?
flour.
Because the sacks of flour in the mill were cut. They couldn't carry it all. I think they nicked it to use it as a bucket. And then
But
put it
why
back.
not just get a bucket?
Paint. There's been some vandalism against the.
Somebody painted lewd images on the council house.
But the bucket.
Really?
I've
He
seen
seems
lots of
he seems entertained by that. Like,
I've seen lots of buckets. Some with plums, some with other stuff.
Do little ones come here often?
not at all. Kids aren't interested in jewelry.
Kids are interested in animals. And she is interesting.
He goes over to Tilly and he gives her a good eye. And he stands there and he's looking in a good eye, not a big bulging eye. Tilly, there's been somebody here that shouldn't. What are you talking about?
I don't speak Arab.
Tilly.
And this is why I want that chicken in the oven sometimes.
Seems my bird can't be trusted.
I think your bounce has been paid off.
I thought we had something special.
Red,
Who was it, Tilly? Give me a name.
get on your
Growl for yourself.
Lay down.
You better take that bird away before I do something with her. That is illegal in multiple continents.
I start listing the names of the kids and seeing if the bird does a thing.
She just blinks.
Tilly, my dear, look at me. If you do not
Does anyone
answer,
else speak with animals?
you are going to be food for
I
all
look
of
at
us
them-
tonight. Do you want
Nizu?
that?
Luck. I'm luck.
I don't care about bad luck, and you know that. So, either you give me names, or I am going to start to cook you right where you stand.
She
Am I-
seems unfazed.
Doran, how much for the bird?
You can have her for free, mate.
Cool.
No use for an hour. Guess I'll have to get a bill like everybody else.
I hand him a bell. Yeah.
Not one of these pieces of shit. I'll make one myself.
True. It is a little one. But, yeah.
He looks at all the silver, and you can probably see the odd calligraphied bell and engraved lying around. But
Thought it'd
fully
be
intends
helpful.
on using one of his own masterwork pieces for a doorbell.
Yeah.
I didn't think you'd use that for something that's going to get hit all day.
Hmm.
They're too pretty for that.
Melt it down, start again.
True, you could always make.
Right, well, thank you for your assistance in this matter. Seemed quite capable considering your...
Lots of results.
Quite evidently. Well, it was lovely
Okay.
meeting you
Does
all.
anyone
Now,
does anyone
please
know a
kindly
druid?
fuck off. I've got more work to do before we finish in about 2 hours, ready to get my drink on. So, goodbye.
Does anyone know a druid?
Yes, there's him who's
You're
on
muted.
mute.
Muted.
Reward.
Reward
Oh dear
for
God.
doing your job?
Don't.
That's not how it works. You get paid to look after the town.
We
You
do.
get paid.
Of course you do. Your guards.
Yes.
None of you asked how much you're going to get paid for this. None of you. I was very surprised.
Nazoom literally had no idea. Nazoom,
I think the Zoom and Nick
Yeah.
Knack are in a similar boat.
yeah.
We're kind of
Fine.
here by accident.
People get paid? Damn.
Luck probably had an idea, but just like, you know,
Yeah,
not saying anything.
you'll all get paid, but you just don't know how much because none of you asked. Um,
How much are things here, by the way?
probably more than you could afford.
I have a little bit saved up.
Most of this is for tourists that pop by, you know, those on the wine tour trade around here. Lots of vineyards, lots of tasting. A lot of them pop
I was
by and
thinking
go,
getting a
oh, get a
ring.
little trinket for the mistress and the wife.
I was thinking getting a ring.
Well, if you can
It is
afford
festive
500
now.
gold, then you've got.
So I might have to get one next year.
Do you have cage for
Steve.
bird?
Hmm?
Do you have cage for bird?
No, she's always just stood on the shelf.
Does she fly in circles?
She doesn't fly. She just sits there.
I cast Mage Hand.
Yeah.
I put the finger of the Mage Hand underneath Tilly,
She just kind of steps onto it.
and I give it for the first time in its life the sensation of flying. Start whizzing it around the room.
Come,
Give us
Tilly.
a name or we'll drop you.
I
I think the
will,
mic isn't picking up.
I will say,
We interrogate bird. Back at barracks.
Nizoom, I don't want to assume about Nizoom, but do you speak bird?
No.
We need
Who
someone
would
who
a
speaks
rat
bird.
speak bird?
He's a rat.
I speak
Bird
rat.
seems to have a pretty good grasp on basic common.
Yeah.
We've got to find what makes this bird tick, everybody.
Yeah.
So to do
I say
that,
we
you
go
kind of
grab the
have to take
kids.
them apart.
Sorry.
Where did when I got left off and I saved the kids, where did they go to? Nobody else
Sorry?
knows. When I left off and I saved the kids, where did they go to?
They just ran off down streets. Don't know where they
Damn
went.
it. I was hoping to find out where they're
But
hiding
they've
was.
recognised you in that child form.
No worries.
I will take Teely on the mage hand. I will collect her little perch thing and put it in the chest in my backpack.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about Traitor Bird.
You can ride around on Pudgy if she wants.
Mage hand it to Pudgy. There's a pug, a robotic pug with a disabled bird on its back.
There's a disabled parrot riding a pug.
On top of the backpack, like the kind of pack horse thing that I can imagine, like all the cloaks are wrapped up like.
Right. So you
At least
found
you found your own.
you found the weapon that was used to vandalize the town hall. That was robbed, used, and returned. Strangely, why you're unsure.
Did we find any when Knick-Knack was investigating? I don't know if that roll counted. Did Knick-Knack find any trace of like handprints or anything like that?
No handprints.
Okay. Just the residue inside the bowl, sort of thing.
No, you noticed where the board had kind of been like pulled away
Okay.
and opened, and then it's been put back.
And so
But
the urn out had the residue.
The boarding, yeah.
But the urn itself had like residue in it.
Yeah, the white flowery
Yeah. Like the
remnants
paste.
of what paste had been used, yeah.
Okay.
So, who in this town doesn't like the old mayor and the new mayor?
Everyone.
That's a
Sounds
lot
of it.
of like potential people.
I'll be
Well,
right back.
even the silversmith, when I said they did lewd things about the mayor, he giggled. So even the silversmith doesn't seem to care.
Maybe it was him and he's trying to throw us off the trail.
And give up his pet bird. I thought people like pets.
I think the bird said it best.
Old
Bastard.
bastard. True.
Maybe we should follow him.
What, the bird?
No, the smith.
Let's find the kids first. Maybe they have something interesting to say.
Have an idea. Someone old, someone knows town, someone knows history, someone sees a lot, always in the market.
You want to go back to the plum?
Gentry. We helped Gentry. Stacked plums for Gentry. Might know.
Maybe.
Got a point.
Always there.
All right, what did I miss?
Us plotting and scheming, it's all good.
That's all right, no problem. You're allowed. Okay, so
Nazum has suggested. Sorry, the suggestions were, if I recap, that Knick-Knack suggested that we trail the smith to see if it was the smith himself hiding the evidence, but then, reporting it to make it seem like a legit crime, that it was stolen. Nazum has suggested that there is an older person who's always in the marketplace, and that's Gedry's plums. that Gedry might be willing to share some information either on the current political state of things or where the kids hide out.
Luke?
Yes.
I don't know if this is pushing it or not. Would it be okay if I rolled insight and seen if, with this conversation, if he sounded genuinely surprised about the panel coming off?
Yeah, right.
To see if he was the one who hid it.
Roll me insight.
Nah, I rolled a 10.
You rolled a 10. Okay.
Could have been good, but I rolled real low. So
you were too involved with seeing the panel and the astonishment that the urn was there to have a good gauge of what was happening with what reaction Doran was giving. 1 second, my phone's ringing.
Knick-knack. When your crystal cat watch for us? The Smith?
Yeah.
Or we watch? Who's quiet? Who's sneaky?
I could always keep an eye.
Ah.
Or now that we've cleared off the mess, why don't we see if anyone turns up tonight to try and paint you a
Right.
message while everyone's at the party?
Oh, turn you off me. Right, okay. So
Good idea.
yes, you were unable to gauge
I like
his
Knick-knack's
reaction because
idea
your focus was not on him, it was on the actual thing when it happened, based on that roll.
I like Knick-knack's idea of staking it out and seeing if somebody does it again.
Does the vandalism?
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Okay, so I will keep in mind that
we're going to do
it's coming towards the end of the day. Tonight is going to be the first night of celebration. It's the first night of its night summer market. People celebrating the close of the summer harvest. So there's going to be a lot of people out on the streets tonight. You've been awake all day. If you want to do a stakeout tonight and stay awake tonight and keep an eye on the council hall, you can. However, if you do that, there might be points of exhaustion. Just to remind you.
I can set links up to watch it, or and Pudgy can too.
Nazoom will volunteer with Pudgy and the familiars, because Nazoom, since the court, Nazoom hears as a revelry begins, and there's the buzz and the hubbub of the markets and now it's cordially time to cause a bit of a ruckus, and musicians start playing in the streets, and it's the appropriate time. He feels that happened, but underneath he hears the sonorous song reverberate through this place, and he feels
it's not you. Oh, sorry, not that song. That's all.
He feels the song of the music, and he feels another song sing beneath it, like a sub bass, something.
Since you arrived, the song has faded to a low level.
Mm-hmm. But
you are here; it is there, but there has been no swelling in it.
Yeah, there's no
as you've been going around today.
but there's a new melody that plays into part of this from the song, and he feels an awakening within himself, and an ability has been granted onto Nazoom, and he looks upon his glowing cloak, and he turns it inside out as suggested earlier by Cass, and with his aspect of the moon as part of his pact boon, Eldritch invocations, he no longer needs to sleep.
Oh.
Damn.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting.
So the cloak inside out, the glowing round him, so he kind of even looks even more spooky. So now he's like an underlit rat from inside the cloak.
That's it's like when people put a torch under their chin.
Yeah, but it's
But
like
it's
that, but
all
all
around
the way
a rat.
round. Yeah,
and he's a rat. Awesome. I think on that note of a creepy underlit rat in the dark waiting
with a
watching,
pug, with a pug and a
with a
crystal
pug.
cat.
Yeah.
And the night's festivities about to begin, you have all been recalled to the barracks for reassignment, ready for the night watches, and we will leave it there.
Yeah. Thank you very much. That was awesome.
Thank you very much for playing. I hope you've enjoyed your first session in a new place.
Thank you, Luke.
No,
I'll
it's all right.
see you maybe next week for another session.
Yeah, certainly, absolutely. If you want to play again next week, we can.
Cool. Right, see you later, guys. I'm gonna stop the recording there.